right, what's up, Fortnite fam? Welcome to the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy. Here we are. It's Monster D-Face and, of course, my boy, Shio Wager. About to be calling the action today, but a little different than the usual, right, Shio? We're getting into some duos today.
Yeah, a little bit of duo, a little bit of collegiate action as well. For the top 45 yesterday come through to today, and then the top 3, I believe, will go all the way over to Code Red, and there's so many more prizing and stuff to talk about. But Monster, new seasons, new Fortnite, a few same old names. It should be a fun whole day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, the entire excitement factor is the fact that we are in the new season. There are still tons of opportunities. Once again, every season to continue to prove to the scene you have what it takes to be at the top with the others and the best. And that's what leading up into the Code Red is all about, because as you guys know, at Boom TV and the AVGL team always bring you guys that hot, sweet action with the big invites, the big names, and all that good stuff. And that's to come. But first, we have to get through these qualifiers, which, by the way, tons of money on the line and all kinds of other stuff. But we'll get there in just a bit, because we also have some players here, Shio.
Yeah, let's talk about them real quick, see exactly who's playing how yesterday when we got Snowy and Scav all the way up top, 226 points to 223 to Frosty and Mellow, who are no strangers or fellows to this type of competition. I've seen them all the way, I think, in Anarchy last year and a bunch of other collegiate competition. A 3-point difference, but Mars is on the page, and Dizrod and Felix Monster, I know you like that duo.
Hey, that's my boys right there, especially Felix, man. Dizrod too, right? We've done a lot of cool stuff in the past together. Great to see them up at the top. And again, just to bring some attention to this, remember, these are, like you mentioned, very niche set of players, right? Because you have to be college or in college to be eligible, and then of course inside the same institution or organization as well. So very particular set of teams here, but super cool to say the least, right? So to see boys like Dizron and Felix make it this far, it's very awesome. And then of course here we have that second page, a couple more notable names up here as well.
Yeah, Kaiser's in there, Cool Gamers back too, Edge and A1 Suje in the business, Moni Dade, always a fun combination to watch. And you're right, these guys are friends in the classroom and soccer field, and now on the island as well. And we'll see what they have, because there's a bunch of other teams, not just this top 10, but we'll be seeing them inside the game to see what they can bring to this new season, Monster.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, because the leaderboard was pretty tight. I mean, even breaking down to the top 10 here, things started to fizzle out a little bit, but that top 5 highly competitive across the board. We do have a format as well, though. We'll be able to pretty much run through, show you guys how this cake is being sliced up here, who's earning the points and where. Duos competition, there are only 50 duos, so for touching down in the world, at least you get a couple points. You don't want to miss that battle bus.
Yeah, a little bit of a participation trophy right there, but past that, it's all competition. You got to make sure 20 other players or teams actually are eliminated. That's where you get your first placement slot in 30th, all the way up top to first place. That's 41 total placement points. No joke, in terms of eliminations, that's close to 20 almost, because they're going to be 2 a pop. So they'll still affect your overall point threshold, but this looks like, just in general, when you're playing in duos against all these other players, you want to survive as long as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the points, especially up towards the top, after top 6, really start to hop up exponentially if you think about it. 3-point swing it can make a huge difference, especially when you look at all the other thresholds, are mainly awarding about 2 or so. So after top 5, things are going to get real interesting. The points are going to pretty much start to stagger upwards, so you want to be up in that upper echelon of points there. Think about it, first to third is 11-point gap difference. I mean, it's really, I believe, weighing into the victory royale. With eliminations being only worth 2 here, you need effectively, what's this, let's do the math here, 2 times 10 plus 1, all right, like 21 eliminations, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fair amount of eagles to outweigh a victory royale. Highly unlikely any team's gonna be pulling that one.
And we'll see, you know, towards the end, people do end up getting crazy, but what do these points end up leading to, right? What happens when you have the most? It's prizing. It's prizes to see exactly what these guys drop down with. In first place, $3,000 in total. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is $10,000 on the line in total for everyone down to 8th, Monster. This is a huge prize pool for kind of like a finals, but also a qualifier to another tournament.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just gonna have to call the boys in the back and let them know. I think they might have added a couple too many zeros here for a qualifier, guys. $10,000 is ridiculous here. First, second, third, obviously, are gonna be the ones that get the prestigious, slide on into the next phase or stage of the event course. But come on, man, 10 G's and just to break into top 8 would be a amazing little $500 prize pool right there. So the prizing, nothing to overlook here. There's tons of money to play for, which means we have a lot to talk about when it comes down to just the stakes here, right, for the players as we start leading into these games.
Yeah, all the way to 8th, you're leaving with triple digits. But, as we come back to our beautiful faces, we can definitely talk about exactly what it means for everyone to be here and what it means for this tournament actually to get going, right? Because it's brought to you by kind of Xfinity. And these guys, if you don't know, everything right now is going to be powered by your game with Xfinity Internet. They are the Autumn Anarchy sponsor. They deliver a very reliably fast gig speed Wi-Fi for everything from clutching into your games to going straight to class and acing your big exams. So you can get expired with some crazy student offers as well. Students who are playing, students who are watching as well. You can have big bonuses in there too, just from participating in this and whatnot. Perks like a $100 prepaid card, 6 months of Amazon Music Unlimited as well, all on a no-term contract. So think about it if you want to. Past that as well, you can learn more all about this on xfinity.com/student. And you can also realize that gig speed Wi-Fi is only available on gigabit speed internet, and you're also going to have a compatible X-Fi gateway to have access to all of this. So actual speeds also might vary and are not guaranteed. What I can guarantee though, Monster, is that these 6 games, once they get going, they're not going to stop. It'll be an absolute fire force of a show today.
Yeah, and just like to kind of touch on that, if you have the bundle, remember there's a couple little extras in there. We all use our devices at home. You want to play some music, that extra 6 months, it go a long way, especially while you're gaming and whatnot. Get your little vibe on here. But ultimately, the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy. Hey, Shire and I, we've done this before. We've been here before. We've been in this driver's seat. We got to see what these players can bring to the table. Nothing but excitement. And I'm looking forward to the players getting down here. Of course, we have a couple changes right happening in the world of Fortnite. Let's just talk about item pool in general. Sideways weapon making a touchdown in the Fortnite universe here, and another kind of interesting one that I think has brought up some some pro sentiment and feedback is the rifle. I'm talking about the pulse rifle that comes back here, the railgun in particular that can fire through those builds. In team-based settings, you do tend to see it come out a little more often.
Yeah, the railgun always going to be a little bit of an issue rolling into things. I feel like the combo shouldn't be that much of a deal. I think the biggest change will be chug splashes being added back into the fray in terms of how heal game ends up working out. The fact that there's a spicy variant out there as well, giving the whole team speed, that's going to be huge. And the map as well has gotten a little bit of a boost in terms of where people can get loot all across in between POIs, which will be cool. And then we were talking about it pre-show, Monster, but the entire game kind of adapting, having a different spot where hot zones will be in terms of being able to access those sideways weapons. That's huge too.
Yeah, and they move around. So these locations are going to be hopping all around the map. Really, it's going to be dependent on whether or not you have a little bit of a luck factor in your pocket there and things land on your side and you have the time to actually sit inside and beat basically the creatures of the void here as you start to hop on in there, which of course can yield out some really awesome weapons. The minigun, the sideways minigun is grossly underrated. I mean, we've seen a couple of cool clips of teams doing focus fire, especially in team-based settings. That's more along the trios kind of style, right? But duos, there's still room. Again, this is a team-based game mode, which I just want to say for the record, whenever I get to cast over duos, it is my favorite game mode. So
hey, we'll see what happens with that. But in terms of duos, it's actually good you brought it up. The clutch potential, right, of just you lose a teammate, you go down, you're not actually going up against full squads anymore too. It's one of the reasons that it's also kind of my favorite to cast too, is you can see so much potential for some of the players you wouldn't expect to do so much more. And in general, you're kind of tag teaming 24/7. You can kind of see the camaraderie through the way these guys attack certain fights, defend against certain pushes as well. It's always fun to watch. We don't get enough of it, so it's dope that it's happening today.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's so much more to digest when you really sit down and watch a 2-man team, and the communication, the comms just in general are usually a lot more concise. They're more direct because you only have to worry about yourself, your boy, and being positioned in those fights. So I think the skill ceiling, it personally, and this could be an argument for the scene, I think the skill ceiling in duos, it's a little bit more prevalent, right? You get to see it as it starts to unfold. I mean, if you hold it apples to apples with trios, we haven't had enough consistent any game mode back to back to really see who's the best. Like trios in particular, I feel like have allowed teams like Scented, Edgy, Commandment, etc. to outshine the rest of the competition because of how many times we've allowed them to reappear in the standings and the leaderboards and things like that. For duos though, being that we don't get to see it as often, I just feel like we haven't really got to see how far teams can take it on a duo setting.
Yeah, and you add like kind of the constant of chaos in there as well, right? More teams, more chances for things to go wrong, more things to analyze overall too. Makes it really tough to see who's the best, but here's one of the chances, at least in the collegiate scene, to see who can come out on top. Autumn Anarchy's almost ready to go underway. We're in that bus. We're about to be dropping I'm not going to ask for predictions, Monster, in terms of players, but where do you think we're going to be going? South side, north side of the map? How are things looking for this first game?
Lately, the zone has been pulling north. I think it's going to continue to pull north. The south zone curses are completely over, so I expect no mountains on this forecast here. I think we're going north, northeast to the beaches up at the Believer side. That's my call. Where do you think we head?
Little vacation. I want pain, suffering. I want to see those mountains, at least in that first game. Started on a little rocky foot, but we'll see what actually ends up going down. Still, remember, 50 different teams rolling in. Lots of players. You got to wait for that 30th team mark to roll in before any placement really gets delved out. And then 6 games as well, right? A lot of these teams now in finals might be used to 12-game competitions when they're making a finals. Doing it in a little bit of a short span right now for this, right? Going for top 3, that's big pressure.
Absolutely. Well, we have vets on the mic, but we got new players on the field here. We heard that the games are ready. Game number 1 of the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy is underway, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, to kick it off, Snowy and Scav up at the top here, who again have come out on top yesterday during their competition. So I want to know where they're landing. I want to see where they're touching down, and just got to figure out how they're going to go in and play this map.
Yeah, all the way over at what looks like the remnants of Stealthy, or maybe even going straight into that POI for just a second. They're gonna have one team around them, but all around the map it looks like, you know, everyone kind of has a little bit of a fight to take. Holly Hedges kind of being contested. Weeping Woods has a little bit of a edgy fight back and forth to see who kind of steals all the loot. For Scav, though, it seems to be completely uncontested. They get to hold on to their first day reign.
Caddy's Cornered, like you mentioned, has players here. This is already not looking too good for Cut right now, who's gotten tagged before he can even touch down. You have Dis on the other side. It was that CFN on top on the other side there as well. Pretty rough situation for them to be in, digging into heals here instead of farming at the moment. And look, Camarino, you can hear the harpoon flying off there. He's trying to pull in as much loot as possible without exposing himself. They're going to need it.
Absolutely. They have all the possible low man loot, at least in terms of food to eat. Get all the way back up from getting tagged. But this is always tough in Caddy. We've kind of seen it season after season. You get a little bit aggressed on, and you have to stop everything, halt it, put on the train brakes, basically, and reassess, because there's not that many mats to be had. If you get caught even a little bit, you only can really afford to make one box cut. Camarino do actually end up snipping off any type of aggression and move away towards Lazy Lake to recuperate.
It's uncharacteristic of the drop, but on the other side, some new terrain in play right now. You have a little fight going on. Domo barely any HP here. He does have a mini to play off of. No mats, though, as Cranberry and Svenik are on defense here. This is where players have to start essentially second-guessing themselves at this point. Like, do you go for the fight here with the very little bit that you have, or do you back out? They're going to go on and go for it. Press their luck right now, Shayo. I don't know what the odds are of them winning this one, but it's looking pretty close.
Luck might have been run out. 4 mats to share in total for Blackhawk and Domo, but I think it might be the same on the other side with Cranberry down bottom. Mars already eliminated from the feed. That's one of the big, you know, top 5s we're rolling into today. And wow, never mind. Xfinity and Cranberry, they have everything they want to just stay here on defense forever. 347 brick compared to the 4 on the other side. They might actually even catch Domo flying away.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to go ahead and play passive here because they barely have ammunition, and that's going to be a full disengage between the two here. They don't even bat an eye, not looking for the fight. On the other side, though, Ninja has to clutch up here, and it's not looking good as he loses all of his shield. Off on defense he goes here, but he's got plenty of walls to play with. His teammate is actually just down. And so he's going to be able to pick him up, bring him back to this nice, strong box. This up against 7 and Mars. You talked about Mars going down, but 7 is still up in the game here. Looking to try and wrangle his way back into this one. Is it worth the fight is the question, and it seems like for him it is. He's not going to let that pickup go off here. Great angles, great tag as well, Sayo. It's looking like he can close this one.
Yeah, the level will be faster off the dodge, but the pump hits harder. There's no chance for 7 to stay alive. He goes out, and that's Mars not going to be able to get rebooted either.
He's down, he's out. Monkey going for a little fly here. Clean disengage. Man, I haven't seen this fit in a while. Sharkman is in full effect, back bling and all. Looks better now than it did before, you know? Oh, no, I'm digging it.
Too. All right. We have Fall here as well. He's rolling in. Oh my God, what a shot. Looked like he threw it through his own floor. John Cena, I mean, I can't even see this player in this box, but Fall he's shooting something, and he's landing shots, so it seems to be working.
Tracking is good here. These are just wood builds on Mr. Cena on the other side, so there goes the swap to heavy mats. Good for him, but too fresh. The wall's too weak here. You have the clean pinch going through. That's the ramp boost setup. Danger is near. John Cena knew it. He tries to jump down. He's just losing HP here. Yep, it's only a matter of time, guys. There it is.
3. You don't even need a countdown for that one to know he's knocked out. That's going to be a quick wrap up. 40 rolling in, or ball rolling in here with CFN. A fight at the edge of the map, it looks like, too. It's always interesting to see where these fights end up breaking out in duos. You never see the same in trios or even solos sometimes.
No, definitely not. The way these fights break out, much faster than any trio would in a trio setting. You see how you snap your fingers, you blink, you missed it. These battles are going to go back and forth pretty quickly. All it takes to gain all that momentum is just get one player down from that team, and then that's it. It's on, right? It's the green light there. But like we talked about at the top of the show, there's still that clutch factor. As a solo, you can still do big things. You can still pull together, you know, the occasional 1v2s. I'm sure if you guys are, I'm sure everyone here is dialed into the social Twitters. You guys saw the clip from Clicks the other day up against pros on a what looked like a 1v4 or 1v5 or 6 or something crazy like that in the end game. So it just shows you, you know, what's possible out there. You never really know.
Definitely. This mode in general, and when it comes to just this season as well, with all the different things you have in terms of fast heals, the way people are trying to switch their games up from season to season, there's always a chance for a clutch to go down. The big thing too, in terms of, you know, duos or any mode where you can have a teammate knocked down, reboot timers have gotten so high that, you know, you'll have Clicks being able to survive longer in the games, even if he makes a mistake earlier on. Same thing with Defy here. If he goes down, he ends up surviving the fight. He can just get the card, run away, 500 total seconds to get your player all the way back into the game. I mean, that is huge.
Absolutely massive right now. Diddy trying to bounce back here. He's gonna have to heal. Defying Uzumaki. Looking pretty good. Shout out to the Uzumaki clan. I'm rocking a sweater right now as well. You know the vibes. We out here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Distance CFN they're out here. They're really looking for the fights right now.
I mean, I actually like it because it seems like, you know, especially in those first games, everyone's always trying to just feel out the competition. A lot of these guys might be even coming in, you know, bottom of that top 45 from yesterday. And look at the fight.
Okay.
You might have people hunting down in the field, but if you're just waiting patiently, you're looking at the patterns. He actually analyzes it, gets that ramp flip. What a great shot.
Yeah, Defying looking very, very good right here. That was a clean play. And not only that, he coned him up. He grabbed him from underneath that ramp. So the tech is real. Diddy and Defying have all the advantage here. It's a 2v1 situation. Dis is going to have to back off there. Looks like he hits the disengage. Not sure if he grabbed that reboot card. Let's not forget, guys, you do not have to actually pause down. All you have to do is run through the builds of your down teammate, essentially. Run through the card, and it'll pick it up automatically for you. So Dis just trying to get back here. They have plenty of loot, right, to spare. This is from their previous elimination. And, yeah, he's just going to play the zone edge. Seems like he's should be able to go back, at the very least, for the card later, too, right? It lasts longer as well. Yeah,
he's got fair time to be able to work with, and Phoenix seems like he's out of it this time. They're all the way down on the ground. They're high and dry. They get taken out. Tokyo Manji will be able to just move forward with Ethan here too and get a few tags after a quick wrap up. Here's those chuck splashes in action. They get and just make sure that everyone's topped off at all times. One of the favorite additions of heals that have ever been in the game personally for me, and they're back too, which is great to see.
Those chug splashes really do change the dynamic of the fights here. And already, look at Ethan's loadout, man. 6 big pots, 6 minis. Not something you see very often this early, and already at 2 eliminations. So they're rolling and controlling the lobby right now. They have the zone as well, so plenty of time to either vibe out or just play for a more key position here near max material as well. There's the vehicle in play. This will really allow them to pick any spot on the map that they want to go towards. It seems like they're going to go on and hit the early rotate.
Yeah, especially with those shockers, be able to just move and groove on any terrain. Derpy and Dylan, another powerhouse combination that just rolled through the collegiate scene. I didn't even know these guys were playing today, and now they're also looking a little bit free rolling in. No elims just yet. Doesn't look like Surge will be a big problem either, but their loadout looks pretty stacked.
These kids are solid right here. They have plenty of experience up against these collegiate folk. You know, I want to say they're all friends and peers, honestly. Most of the same teams kind of, you know, roll through it and run with one another. Derpy and Dylan have been running as a 2-man squad for quite some time. Dr. Duke on the other side, though, trying to show us what he's got. This is a first for us. Trying to make his rotate.
These guys are also one of those classic combos that roll in. But if you're talking about, you know, you're looking at this earlier on in the aggression, Derpy and Dylan are ones to, once it becomes endgame, really get cracking on making sure they have height. Duke and hits, they're more so a little bit more passive. At least the last time we watched Autumn Anarchy, that's how it went down. I'm excited to see exactly how this endgame breaks through, especially for the zone. It's not like you can go anywhere. It can go even lower down towards those mountains that no one wants, or stay right here where it is, where we can have a peaceful, nice time.
Yeah, this is still a fair amount of players in the lobby right now. If you just take a look over at that map there, you can just tell players are starting to take over those key positions, especially the one like this, that mountain up top. Meek and Schwarzy holding that one down. Players on the other side, so there's bases being built up on all the strong points here. These are going to create chokeholds between these valleys. For Duke and Hits, I mean, they're going to be okay. They have a main spot to play off of, but this high ground position is the true place to be right now. And look at that. There's all the bases I was talking about there. And look, no one can actually cross through these valleys for free at this point. So they're already kind of, manipulating the map here, forcing players out of this northern portion.
I like that too. They're going to have to do a little bit more work, though, if they want to really grab these points for themselves. 7 teams need to go down still before that first kind of bracket of placement points ends up getting rolled out. Benjamin and BCR, they were under hot fire before, but it looks like they've kind of stabilized and have a huge base on Misty Island. Now, if it does go a little bit more towards the south side, towards this lake in terms of an end game, this might be one of the best spots to be on. You have all the options to go towards town or go back towards the hills. There's so much control. It isn't all in right now, it looks like. Significant portion of their mats are kind of in here for the moment, but at Purple AR, lots of pressure. They can make it work.
Absolutely. Underneath, couple duos there too. So again, more pressure nearby, more things to worry about, but the high ground, the lake house, they're pretty much dead center. You saw the north mountain there. That was pretty much the outer edge of the zone. My guesstimates say that this is pretty much right in the middle here. The zone should be starting to move sooner. Okay, a little south of the middle. Green, who's a solo over there. Wonder who that is. That man's got pretty much the key location here. He'll be pulling a couple zones for sure. That's kind of what you want when you're rolling solo dolo. For BCR and Ninjaman, I mean, they survived their drop, right? We saw them pick up those couple elims here, so they're pretty much just sitting pretty here, hanging out.
Now, I gotta remember too that this is just game 1 of 6. Momentum is a huge thing rolling in, and if you have a very good first game that starts, the rest of it can be so easy going. But Mist is rolling in on the map in terms of surge, in terms of moving around. It's gonna be tough for people to find things super long range. At the same time, you might be able to get away with things like this. A nice shady edit underneath the pyramid is a lot harder to see from range too. Ross and Kenny, they got the tech.
Not only that, talk about like harder to see. You can actually tell that the fog is starting to set in here, right? The fog's already gone through a couple of adjustments to kind of lighten it up a little bit, but for the most part, it definitely blocks your vision, makes it a little bit hard to see past enemies in the deep when they're sitting out like that. So for teams to actually have that keen eye, spot one another, and still find the tags, even with the fog being at its thickest, that was impressive to say the least. So
yeah, the denial of visibility basically works both ways there, right? Harder for people to see your edit open, but yeah, I didn't even realize it's gonna be so much harder to land those shots. Now, Isolate and Kirk, they don't even care about having bases, or a fire alarm might have went off in their old one because this entire house is set ablaze. They'll move on as zone switches over towards a little bit more central to the bottom right of what we're looking at on this entire minimap, and they will not have any issues whatsoever. Lots of free builds for them too. This is huge. Okay, thank you, other team that was here, for blessing us with mats, and then they're on their way.
Yeah, they'll be sending a card to someone's house. That's appreciation post for sure if I ever seen one. All those mats, that's a full cap off here. Who needs it is Pearl and Russo here. They need to go ahead and swing through there. This is why it makes it worth it, right? To just kind of, go through the mats, go through the builds here. You never really know what you're going to find. Here, though, recycling coming into place here. Pearl and Russo are really going to need it. So, actually, a good find that no one's actually housed up this major drop spot here, essentially, here at Lazy Lake. And they're still inside the zone. They have plenty of time here. 30 seconds to go and cap up on materials.
Now, the issue is they're kind of playing the catch-up game on mining overall, right? Meanwhile, everyone's kind of playing the positions. They're kind of just leveling up entirely by themselves to a different level of the competition. Everyone here is going to be stuck just, max capping out once again. Russo doesn't have too much to do. Just has a lot of metal just, to keep going. And there's not really a sense in moving past Lazy Lake right now. You have no idea where the zone's going to go. Meanwhile, there's, not too many people in Lazy. You'll look at the center of the map near the waterfall, and right above it, that's where the real congestion is. And that's also a lot harder to move around in. So this next zone in a minute 20 might punish a majority of teams. 5 need to go down, and then everyone gets that placement.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer now. Things really starting to heat up here. Russo, he's going to commit. Okay. He's going to go ahead and build up a couple layers here to go and start getting some vision all around. Team nearby, other teams pressured in. I saw Felix there still up. He gets tagged. Seems like he's got his teammate with him. This looks like a pocket for disaster. Plenty of players starting to really base up next to one another here. Luckily for them, there's no surge as far as imminent threat goes right now, but you know, these kind of things will most likely occur here as we start leaning into the late half of the map.
Yeah, it's also about, you know, even if you're given a blessing in terms of no surge or it's a little bit easier on pressure, you got to turn it into points. You got to perform now when you know you're in a good position and you don't have to overpeak. So Skav, Snowy, let's see if they can ride that momentum from yesterday. Big opponents with Felix and Dizrod right there ahead of him, and then Kirk right below them as well. Fella Hadid having issues on the runway, getting all the way towards zone right now, 30 HP, and I don't even know, bro, is my kind of not only question as to how this happened, but the perspective we're watching right here too. This man's gonna try to move all around different builds and teams, still get lobby focus from all sides, and I don't think he's surviving this one.
Yeah, mistakes were made. Definitely shouldn't have put himself up on that second layer. That's gonna go in and reveal himself to all the other enemies. And this is where you just gotta get down and fight, right? Hit the player in the box, let him know, hey, stop firing at me. Give me a second here. But luckily, things are gonna simmer down a little bit. Shots are gonna slow down. The team down low still being very, very active, and that's a completely different duo just nearby. So I don't even know. Jumps in the box. 161. Not good enough, though. He gets taken out.
You're asking for it. He delivered, but without a teammate, it's tough in that situation. Not much else to do. Harsh also playing today. Him and Control are usually the ones together. Right now, looks like Control is not going to have at least his head inside this lobby. Reload takes it out. Mango right there as well to be able to just get this entire 5 slots of loot. We'll see what Harsh can do by himself and what these guys can now do with this blessed position.
Not only that, the zone's going to pull west, guys. That means Scurvy and crew, right? Felix, Dizrod, all those players we saw right there inside this general area all just pulled zone. And not only that, all the players that had that high ground, the general mountain that was just on the northwest side as well, is going to be in play here. So this is just big for the teams that committed, I'd say, to the better general terrain location. They all get it for the south side. Look at that. Congestion's really starting to build up down there now.
Yeah, the Kings before who were here basically turned into tyrants now, not letting anyone roll by with at least, you know, for free at all. There will definitely be some type of fee, and that south side, you're right, is going to be so congested. I don't think Duke's going to have an eye on it. This looks like a little bit of a window edited open to the west, but I'm wondering how these guys will get in.
Yeah, not only that, just night and day games from yesterday. Everyone really taking it serious now. You know, you introduce little 10 Gs on the line, and all of a sudden, everyone's playing to their heart's content here. Nice and slow, taking it easy. 30 seconds until the zone reveals itself. Surge is officially active. This is what we expected, though. This is the zone that's going to most likely turn on Surge if the lobby's trying to take it serious here. Typically, when there's cash involved, Hits and Duke taking advantage of the distraction from the teams rotating north. Couple tags there, but they're well above. They're not having an issue at all here.
See that compact SMG just rattling as well from a distance. Desperation for any tags from them, but yeah, they'll be fine right now. GG down below will look for a few shots. Nothing landed really, but their opponents are still in zone, so this hold might reap some reward if they keep expanding over to the right. It will cost them match. They do actually end up getting zoned, so it might be a worthwhile investment to keep going this way and stopping Sweetie from getting in for free.
I mean, they know the team came in from the outside of zone, so if they could just deny any kind of heal at this position, I mean, this should be a fight that's winnable for them for the most part. As long as they do the quick maths here. Divs on the other side, though, fighting a fight on a different side. Have to be careful, splitting up the focus here. And that might just be the downfall of their position they were granted there. And GC trying to just rein in Divs like, hey, my man, back it up, please. We got to go this way. He's still looking. He's watching the back of the tarp here.
A way to sack to see if they can trap anyone with this ramp flip, but I don't think any player in their right mind would just go in blind to a whole hard map base. Could be possible. They're just looking for info. So much time to play with 245 for Div Civ and GG just to move in.
There was room there. No one runs by, though. No one gets caught in the trap. J-Mando does. He's up against Dr. Pearl and company. Nope, but he gets out. He's on the move. Tagged up once, possibly twice now. And up above, Scav and Snowy. Once again, the better position on the lobby here, looking on in, but it's Hits who's got the high ground here with Duke. And they have it by a fair margin, it seems, as well. But again, they're going to have to give it up here shortly as the zone's starting to go super far south here. It's cutting back towards that mountain, cutting back towards the lake house there. It's going to cross all the way through. And yes, it's going to continue to pull there. That's a long rotate for most here.
And the citizens of the zone have to have a much larger form of movement overall compared to all these immigrant people who are watching just, you know, kind of go all the way from the start from the old zone to this one now. They get a little bit more of an advantage in movement. They have that big bounce back. How does a team that has had height for what seems like 3 zones attack this now? Their legs might get a little bit rusty here. They might be a little bit slow on the draw, but it's a pad they use to get all the way through, a half pad entirely too. And no one's really above them. Looks like they can still, you know, just maintain control.
Yeah, it's a good pad. They're going to be able to get far here. The real decision to make now is if they want to land down, try to build up, or go ahead and sweep out to the front side. Another team's going to take advantage, though. Sujay goes for height here, and he builds out that very fragile tarp here, so he wants to completely hold it. Scav and Snowy hit another launch pad as they start to sneak around. Here's back with Dukes and Hits. They touch down first. They're at the front side of the zone here. No one in front of them at the moment. They are leading the pack here, leading the pace.
And the sacrifice height for that position. Now they're all the way down on the low. Can't even make any mistakes, or they go straight down to the water, or they can make Domo and Blackhawk actually drown. This is huge. A big refresh available here too if they get the elimination, but no, someone else jumps all the way in the front of it. Duke and Hits still side by side, but now there's so many bases all around them. The control they previously had is completely lost, and they're in a world of hurt.
That was so good. Such a clean play to bring these players down, and look at the pressure they're putting on the lobby here, really starting to control this low ground. It's not very often you see teams with this much space on the ultimate low, especially when there's water underneath. That's just proving that they are doing what they have to, and decision was a good one to come on down here. Look at this, clean rotates all the way through, still leading the pack.
And the choose an angle as well is going to be just capsized by the zone, so it'll be free from them in terms of nose backside pressure. Meanwhile, though, all the way up in mid ground, things are getting crazy. Meeklor, Keshwarzi, so low, both together looking for any chance to land one shot to get back into this game. There's a player right below them who's even weaker. They're going up into different layers and lanes. Sweetie ends up going down. That's Duke and Hits right below him, waiting, watching. One big pump, another huge shot. Duke forced into the zone. Hits goes down, but they have no HP to go back and get the mats. They have to keep looking forward.
And that's the result of a big pump on the other side. And look at that, Mango blesses Meek with a much needed siphon. Not only that, the one inside the zone comes through as well, and all of a sudden Meek is back in this game like he never left here. Mats are going to get split, so that's a perfect opportunity. Now they have everything that they need for Dylan and Derp, though. Down they come. This is not their area, though. Derp has to clutch this. Nope, he goes down, shot from behind, and all of a sudden it's up to Dylan. That's a player with no shield. Doesn't take the shot, though. Patient as ever here, trying to wait it out. 12 players, 12 teams, I should say, still remain in the game here. That's placement points. They need to stay up.
Absolutely. Halfway through, when we get to 6, that's where the real points end up going down. Drake is looking to see what to do next. The bounce back saves them. No mats left, just a pad, the duo alive as well, and a sliver of a safe zone. Drakey, the luckiest situation I've seen with a big pump on the side too. That's huge.
And he catches Meek right there. Huge one for him. Down to 8 teams remaining. Just a couple of duos in here. Mostly solos, though, in the mix right now. TDS Zamster, he's going to eat all the peppers there. That's a desperate play for any HP possible here. Mini comes through as well. He's trying to go down instead of across. No,
what?
That might just be it for him. Okay, luckily he gets through. Look at this.
One.
Oh no. Oh no.
You can't do that with metal. You can't do that there. Look at Drakey though with a harpoon. Huge mats. They have 700 to work with him. And A1200 are going to be controlling all of low. Meanwhile, Sujay down on height. Ethan forced against the shot for a fight with Flight, who gets pushed down a bit as well. Looks like Drakey might be the one to control the whole game, but he's low on HP.
The real question is, does Flight have wings right now? Because he's got to get off of it otherwise here. He is second height. That's going to be the focus coming in from above, if so. But no, Ethan and Tokyo, they're playing the long game here. They want the win. They have plenty of heals as well. Just a couple. So that's a full-on win condition set up. Now the trick here is to play the map. The map's got 10 seconds here before the zone fully closes. He's got to pop that, make it at 7. Ooh,
nice.
And there it is. Ethan goes down and closes it up. That's a 10 elim dub for the boys up top.
Hey, game one is all about position, position, position. Let's look at that map. All the differences needed to adapt to, just an aquatic zone. It's all about where you are at the right time. Drake, you had a little bit of luck with that bounce back, but man, Ethan and Tokyo up top, that's what Height's about, right? Just being safe, not even needing the heal game, and just dominating from all the way up top.
Yeah, definitely. Talk about taking the risk there for Drakey, right? Really believing in himself, sitting in the zone for a moment to let it bounce back, so it does end up working out. But Ethan and Tokyo, man, for them to take a victory out at the gate, we talked about the significance behind that. It's 41-point swing right there as the highlights are coming through, giving us a little look at some of the action we might have missed in the last game. Fights up above, fights down low. The early game, very festive.
No, definitely. I think it was really aggressive from a bunch of different duos trying to just get ahead of everyone else. Even Tokyo and Ethan, this was not just a passive play for heals all the way at the back. It was about making sure no one was near them the whole time. Meek had some dope shots. It looked like Hits and Duke were ready to just control low the whole time and take the whole game away. But you know what happens when we're on, Water Monster? Literally anything. And things are always changing. And Ethan ended up, just winning out all the way towards the end.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a couple of those looks right there. Ethan slides on through. Flight is the player that was in second place, so he ends up clutching up. We talked about that second height being just a key position for him, and he eventually was going to have to figure it out. And you know what? A second is not so bad considering how much points you get for making it that far.
No, absolutely. Definitely ended up having wings. One of the biggest ones, though, got him second. And, just a good game overall.
Yeah, definitely. But give us a moment. We'll crunch a couple of numbers here. When we get back, we'll have more Fortnite for you. Of course, game number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy here. It's your boys, Monster D-Face and Shia Wager. We just called all the action for game number 1. Big games for the boys up top. They end up taking home that win for Ethan and crew. But now we get to come back into things, right? It's game number 2. The players are going to be gearing up here. We got a short break. They got a short break. This is where players need to reset and come back hard.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for that game number 1 is there's a lot of different teams that had very good early positions. You called them monsters, they kind of all in and it paid off. But those same teams are not ending up doing that good all the way towards the end of the game. They kind of went down in second moving. That 9 zone had almost, 12 teams there? So these are some hard games. If you have those good positions, you have to convert them into points.
Yeah, for sure. We do have the standings as well. We get to see those points. Where exactly did our players end up netting themselves out? Ethan and Spence up at the top. 10 eliminations being the true carry through with the Victor Royale like we talked about there. Drakey, who got second, is in second here alongside Dustin. Isolate and Sneaky up at top 3. Not bad for a top 5 right there. Kicking it off though, 61 points.
Yeah, Flight with that clutch in second, gets himself 4th overall with his duo mate. And yeah, that big clutch all the way up top in first with 10 elims. That was early aggression and that late game win. So elims from all across the timeline. Obviously, we also saw Drakey's big bounce back zone. That was huge.
Yeah, definitely, as we continue to slide on through the pages here to see where other players are standing. I mean, we talked about a couple mishaps and mistakes. Snowy and Scav, who were granted and blessed at half in, half out, basically tossed from there on out. They go and slide their way all the way down to 10th, only netting in 3 elims. Remember, they're caught off the hot heels of yesterday's victory of the entirety of the day, and they gapped the competition. So this is still a good start, right? A top 10 is nothing to overlook, but you gotta take advantage. You gotta take advantage when you're in the lead like that, and you get the great zone RNG, right? Just overall.
Yeah. Oh, we can talk math too. They're at 20 points, and first place is around that 60-ish threshold. So they're a whole game of placement, or a lot of eliminations behind. They'll have to be consistent now and not really flip off a game at whatsoever. The same thing goes for first place. They can't really mess up. They have to hold on. That's what I like about Fortnite format. These 6 games, every single one matters.
Yeah, it's 20 eliminations that separate them from where they stand in first place. Like we talked about, this is pretty placement heavy. You're gonna have to continue to stay consistent up at the top. Remember, top 3 are the guys that move on to the code red, and if it's placement that they're earning here, I mean, the folks that are signing up for the code red are gonna be invited. they're gonna have to look out here, because if this is the format going into that tournament as well in the weeks to come, yeah, it's gonna be also equally stacked.
Yeah, so many different players too that we weren't expecting to see today. Really, Control Harsh playing over, Nermacy popping off as well in the feed. Felix also expected to see her today, but performing at a game 1 monster. Usually that Dizrod Felix combination, I feel like they're a game 4, 5, 6 duo or trio of spare bows in the mix. But coming in hot in game number 1 and being around at least to tap a few heads and get some damage on the field, that's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. They were there. They were also part of that group that pulled that first zone outside of Lazy Lake. So I think all the crews that we saw initially touch down there broke into the top 10, granted, as they should. But again, that's just the beginning of the standings there to just kind of give us a feel, right? As we're starting to gear up here for game number 2. Early contested draw spots, Craggy Cliffs, Caddy's Corner, Dirty Docks, right? We saw some center zone fights. What do you think is what's going to change here? What's going to happen coming into game 2?
I'm just looking at a bunch of anxious teenagers right now, it kind of seems like, because in the beginning, there's a lot of fights where I feel like we shouldn't be seeing them, right? At the end, for Hype Monster, we're seeing nothing. No one's really, attacking that. Around mid-ground is where these guys are will they, won't they, kind of being over and over again, box to box. I feel like these early game fights needs to shift all the way towards end game, a little bit more reserved in the beginning, and then go for those big out, fights for control, for winning the whole game, instead of just winning your POI.
I say the difference between this season and the last is everyone's mastered the launch pad plays. When you're on height, I mean, that 35 meters, no secret anymore. Everyone knows, hit that pad, you'll get right up onto it. So that's maybe the difference maker here. These college kids, they do the studying, they do the homework. They're all meta masters, right? So maybe height is just more so fear, kicking in, as opposed to players trying to take the risk and hold it.
No, it's very, very true. You might just be, everyone knows what everyone else wants to do. So early game might be the only place to really set yourself apart entirely. If you do end up seeing these fights, I want to see them prepped a bit more. It seems like we saw a lot of, fights with 30 mats, 40 mats. I want to see both sides the equal footing, ready to go.
Yeah, it's going to have to be like that, because game number 2 of the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy is kicking off here. Ethan, Tokyo up at the top right now. Derpy and Dylan, who had a still solid game nonetheless. Looks like they're in bit of a standoff here. There's a llama in the field and 2 players trying to hunt their way towards it. Do they have the mass to make it, though, is the real question here. This is big risk involved. The llama actually has a lot of HP here, so yep, it's gonna slip away here. Dylan actually might be able to snipe this up.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming back home all the way here to one of these Guardian posts. Back to Dylan. Might be a pet that just ended up running away free on the streets, but back on its leash. We'll see if Dylan and Derpy get that advantage. Despy already down. Grandpa Skip and Kaisi, they look like they're sniping people out of the air with SMGs. You don't see that every day.
Oh no, there it is. This is where the player was caught. I was gonna say, did he really take him out with SMG? That'd be insane, but must have caught him off guard. They touched down first. They catch the jump on him. Grandpa Skip does have that sniper in hand, though. Oh, it's so good. The automatic fire rate, high damage as well, and honestly, low bullet drop, low lead time as well. So pretty deadly weapon in the season, actually.
Yeah, a lot of niche circumstances that literally outperforms so many other weapons you could have in the moment. The issue is sometimes if you're super close range or you're not in those niche moments, it's a risk to have in the inventory. Right now, though, for early game, it'll be huge. We'll see what Grandpa can do with it, and then we'll see if this is really where you want to be holding out your last points of control. We'll go over to Craggy, still contested. Nanolo, he's landing the big shots.
That's the fight we're talking about here. Nanolo trying to make the disengage right now, running out of material. He's got to get to the building here. His teammates there to back him up. Nick and Adopted on the other side, trying to find a better angle, but Water Blanket with a quick fry here on the side there. It's going to force some heals onto Adopted Cake now. And this is a bit of a standoff here.
Scraggy standoff, I've seen it in multiple regions across different seasons. It never goes well for anyone. It's always a kind of weird 50-50 on both sides. It's so different every game, especially depending on where zone is. Good on Water Blanket, though, for taking that clock tower, being able to hold everything off. Adopted Cake, he went down last game very early, so, maybe a little bit of that fear of missing out 2 games in a row will get these guys on the defense a lot faster.
Yeah, you just got to pick up the how to play Craggy handbook, and it's just fight, dude. That's all. Take the
okay, I mean, these guys have the handbook in the dashboard. They're going straight for the fight.
Yeah, they're sliding on in here. Water Blanket, Nanolo. I think they just recognized they had the advantage to shield crack as well. Look at this. Oh, that's a couple tags there onto Nick, who didn't have HP. So that's all the confidence they're going to need, if any at all. hops on over. Nick's got no HP now. Goes the quick finish. They do that without getting touched nearly, right? Only tagged one time. They're not bad.
Hey, give him at least one lick in, right? It's kind of disrespectful to do it that fast, but you got to make sure things are perfect. You're not taking damage. Excellent push there. Very good. You mentioned it too, Monster, you know, knowing that you got the shield tags off, and these guys definitely have not, you know, shielded up whatsoever while they were moving. Get the truck, get in, and get out. Now, another situation again, near Craggy. Isolate versus John Cena. I don't think this was the exact team Mr. Cena was fighting before, but there's always a new opponent that ends up entering the ring.
Now, Kirk's got to be careful. They set this all on fire here, so turn this into an open skeleton. They can see right inside. Isolate's going to hop on in. He's got barely enough materials to even sustain this, but they're going to commit to it. And there it is. He's going to go and start refarming. That's what I'm talking about there. I think he knows now. Oh, there it is. Good read.
Nothing landed yet, though. Okay, there it is. John Cena, shield cracked. Shots back and forth. Looks like they're actually really low on builds or have none. I've never seen this waddle strap before from Dieter while crouching, but it almost kind of works.
Hey, he's like peek me, bro. I'm not about this, you know, quick editing and none of that. Let's get the gunfight going here. Step on out, bring it. It seems to be the attitude right now. But Isolate and crew. Oh, bad angle, left camera peek. That's not going to work. Dieter and John Cena still up right now on the low ground here, but they have to be run out of material. They're not on hard mats officially. What's it going to be?
I mean, Kirk's going for these kind of cheeky pre-fires. Isolate still putting down the pressure, and no wall replacement there, so they might just be out right now. But once again, Isolate has to approach from a left-hand angle. They break one of those walls to give him a better perspective in, and I think Isolate's found that he needs control of this. Yes, it's now he pushes for it. Pressure on both. Kirk's going in now, has the right-hand side peak, but not enough ping to take the wall. Pushed back again, and it looks like they're now on lower HP in total. Isolate has a mini up. I mean, this fight should be just over. It's taken so long, and there's still so many mats left on the side of John Cena. Yeah, there's so many.
I don't know how they have this many mats, but yep, they do have it. Seems like he's really the firepower on the trio. This duo right now. He's just waiting with the gun out. Cena's the one doing all the rest of the work with the mats and stuff like that. But hold up. All of a sudden now, they have a little bit of momentum in their side. They're losing all the walls here. They got to be careful.
Yeah, they need to have a little bit of a pinch right now. It's dope that they have so much control of this left side, but if no one's going to push up towards from the right and take John Cena's walls, there's no pressure. These guys are not going to be scared about anything. And big tags coming to Kirk. Will they push is the question. Looks like Dieter actually goes down as that happens, and here's the pocket explosive actually ready from John Cena. He doesn't get to shoot it. Denied. And the finish might come from Isolate. Yes, it does. He has so much shield, and Cena's on the ropes.
Oh, no. He was just a shot away from doing it. Kirk's going to go out and best him there for now. And all of a sudden, that was a long, drawn-out fight. Pretty close for both sides. I don't know how John Cena was alive for that long, but he was. He managed to maintain and make it work there, at least for the for what it was worth, right? For no shield and stuff like that. That was pretty good for John Cena and Dieter.
Definitely wasted a lot of their time, lost mats, and at least got some damage down, but we don't measure damage for points. It's always on placement, and top 30 is what all these teams are kind of pushing for. Another llama found from Jake and Craig. That's huge.
Nice find right here. Tired llama, easy to take out. Let's go and see what drops. Bunch of minis, bunch of chug splashes, and there it is. Decision. Of course they're gonna pick it up. It's a full 6 stacker. Nice. What do you think about the lever action shotgun being in the mix right now? A fair amount of people actually running that over your I guess your traditional pump or charge.
Yeah, I mean, the lever just gives you a different tempo when you're fighting, right? It's a little bit faster hitting. It's a little bit more active overall. A nice little balance between the attack and pump. You do end up losing a little bit of damage, but you get to fight from angles you haven't before. So if you like that play style, I mean, it's a huge option.
Now jumping over the Chief Police and Speedy Mellow right here. Power in sight, action coming through. Corny Crops, man, this is the hot spot right here. Look at all the players starting to base up. Already zone number 1 again on this. I'd say onto a faster, if not the same pace as last game here. 72 players in the lobby at the moment. So things are definitely cooking up and heating up here. On the other side, Mello and Chief trying to make a move through. They spot some loot. It's a good pickup for them there. All around, though, this seems like the zone's going to be coming northeast.
And whenever there's zones like this, you can basically expect whoever has, like, you know, these key mountains, key positions, key POIs end up being the safest, and everyone slowly ends up losing a lot of their utility, a lot of their mats. So the Corny Complex duos, they get to stay high and dry. Anyone on Zate Hill, when they're steamy, they end up, you know, also just being fine. Might be low on damage overall, but they don't get to lose their resources as much.
For sure, for sure. Now, though, things are going to settle down here. It's that early game calmness before the storm actually kicks in. Players in the zone, players outside the zone here. I like this play here to ditch the vehicle, actually, though. Remember, cars are very loud, will give away your positioning here in the game. So for Harsh and Control here, trying to play a little bit slower, a little bit smarter. They're going to pause up, heal. You might have actually come across some big loot there on the way on in. Just take a look at the inventory here. That's a llama pickup if I've ever seen one. Max material and everything there. Ammunition included there.
And they've got the whole package. Just remember, before, we've seen so many duos in their position, in the cars, have that stack loadout, have a good position. But then what ends up happening, some of these zones pull, you know, even with this refresh right now, I'm just waiting to see exactly what decisions Harsh and Control make once we're in that 6th, 7th zone.
Good plays, though. Driving up to boxes here. You know, this is competitive experience right there. Just vetting out empty locations, trying to find what they can. I'm sure he's just looking for a shotgun upgrade right now. It's probably at the top of his priority list. For Scav and Snowy, though, having a struggle of a time right now. This is looking pretty desperate all around here. Dug deep into the heals here. An empty inventory slot right now. Trying to make his way up to Scav here, who's trying to heal back to maximum HP. And it seems like they took a risk for those, or for the loot, and it didn't pay off, right? Got punished in the process.
Yeah, compared to yesterday, it looks like it's a much more uphill battle. Lots of punishment to be divvied out on these guys. Maybe the greedy playstyle is why, you know, they played so well yesterday. The greed paid off, and today, at least in the first 2 games, looks like even taking 3 shots at a car, these guys are getting punished.
Yeah, just like right there. That's a definite setback here. We get a brief glimpse of Storm Surge, but it's not gonna play a factor here. It's not gonna be a problem for these players. Big peaks on the teams up top. Shots come through, nothing's gonna land there. Ooh, timed him. These tags matter. I mean, we know there's gonna be Surge later, so.
Yeah, sometimes Surge is a little fake on the update for the few seconds, and sometimes it does reign true. I saw 9 below for Scav and Snowy, but I don't think that is super the case. Still, you're right. Every single damage tag matters.
See how it's gonna play out here. It's game 2. They had an okay game 1, like we said. Is your team inside the top 10 here, just barely holding on there. They need a victory royale. A victory royale's worth of points in order to catch up to number 1. Speedy.
Yeah, then number 1 as well. They're like 20 points ahead of everyone else, so it's the whole lobby just trying to catch up.
Yeah, that's a fight going on over there between Speedy and Mello. They're jumping on the box. Speedy's already lost all his HP. Data and Moni just looking on in, trying to see if they can find an angle here, but no fresh walls, no fresh builds. I'm thinking they just need to create the opportunity themselves, weaken up those walls. That fight's starting to draw out there. This is the difference, right? You gotta take advantage of those battles, especially when they're on the outer edge like that. It's the perfect time to manipulate the scene here and really force the lobby to look on in, or just make this battle end, right? As opposed to giving them time. Chief's gonna go and hop on in. He slips through the build as well. He doesn't stop firing. Just tries to break his way out the box here. Comes back around. Nice knock. Can a teammate finish it though? He's punished. One's down. Speedy's out.
Ooh, gets the pickup though. Straight into the safe box. And that revive will come through. Mika fully taken out, and these guys still have a long way to go. Medkits are there. Lots of massive be gained from that elimination. That just happened too if they can find it. But clock's ticking. Zone so far away, they have to get moving soon.
And you hear the player walking around just next door. There's Ross and Kinney. based up underneath a build. More players rotating through just nearby. Kenny's gonna go and make the dip first. He's gonna make it all the way on in as well. Harsh and Control still alive.
They're still in the car. I think this is the only duo still riding the whip at this point in the game. Everyone else is just basically hunkered down into a box. And take notice too, 36 duos alive for such a long time. Only one's really gotten down in between two zones. And last game, no one went down all the way till the 5th zone. This time, Flight is in trouble before the 9th. He might not have wings to get out of this one.
Well, he's going on in. Kenny wants this. There goes the Harpoon into the box, and he's right behind him. Great tags there. And look at that, the knock. He found the player while he was isolated and took full advantage and min-maxing with the heal there as well. He wants as much shield as possible. And all of a sudden now, that's the refresher they were looking for. And they're in this game here now.
That's genius, and that's one of the things you can do with the Harpoon back and in play. It's not just for loot all the way in the late game. It's for making these very niche clutch situations happen, opening up doors of possibility that aren't really seen. Meanwhile, though, they did have to go a little bit further back away from zone to get that pick. We'll see exactly how those two end up moving in. Control and Harsh. They drove all the way here, put the car in permanent park, and now are ready to play the game.
All right, the stage is set here for Harsh and Control. They have the material, they have the zone, fairly center, but they're inside the mix here with all the other opponents. 3 floppers and a pump to work with right now. That pump, though, he didn't upgrade it. They didn't find one. Even going through all the builds, looking through all the old POIs, and still nothing. This is the hand they've been dealt. Drakey and A1200, though, on the other side here. Pressure coming in. It's Meek and Schwarzy looking for the fight right now, getting close to the builds here. Mind you, after next zone, there will be a surge warning.
Yeah, everyone will get that update and know exactly what's up. So people are fighting to make sure they stay ahead of that surge. Oh my God. The pattern continues. One person kind of over editing, trying to make things happen, be the hero of the duo, getting punished. This time it's Drakey. Schwarzy as well. He's going to try to do big things, but now Meek's left alone against 2 different players looking to salvage anything that's possible. It's not going to happen. Almost there. Pulling his duo mate by the shoulders, getting all the way back for the revive, but pressure's still coming through.
Yeah, he's got to branch on out. He's got to build these layers here. He does that. Effective job from Meek here. Smart play as well. Now there's another team nearby sliding on in there on the map, but they're not going to notice the broken builds. Actually, they do. They're looking back right now. I'm looking at that cursor just to the north here. I think they're thinking about it. They're lurking on near. And there it is. Harsh is going to go and slide on in. So they did end up committing. I was right. And here they are. Now trying to get involved. Oh, great edit there. And the finish. That's Meek down. We already know Schwarzy was lit. He's going to get a heal off there. Those are the floppers he had in the inventory. But Harsh has got some too, so unlikely they'll be able to finish this one. It might just be time to leave him.
That's still huge, big refresh and update for Harsh and Control. They invested a few materials and a lot of ammo in the last 2 zones, and now they have it all back and more. We'll see if Schwarzy was saved for a reason. If he can get the duo of him and Meek all the way up in the boards, whatever it might be, he'll have to do it himself.
And it'd be worth it, right? So it's now gonna have to feel this one out. Was it worth saving your boy? So that was the deadliest of exchanges. Schwarzy's up. Keen to see how he's gonna play this one out. The zone, though, zone's going north, right? So all these teams have already migrated. Harsh and Control prioritizing the loot, keeps them behind for the late rotate. Margin 7 get in front. They're on the outer edge. This is going to be a south congestion right here for the most part.
They get actually above the congestion. One of the smartest things you can do is get a higher layer. It costs a little bit more, though, so you'll see they're almost out of hard mats, or at least halfway through expending them. Past that as well, yeah, Harsh and Control had a very, very nice time finding an old base all the way in, but it'll be Ross and Hits, a combination of 2 different duos stopping them. Bars and 7 now from this position can make sure that, you know, there's no chance anyone else doesn't get higher than them either. Very good eye to keep Kenny and Ross down. And Kenny is so low. I was about to say just a little bit of a breath of air will knock him down. And Mars is the one to have that gust push all the way towards Ross. And now there's no chance for these guys to be able to stay alive as a duo.
Yeah, and with the Tempest near, other players falling there. Schwarzy goes down too. That was the solo we were hoping was going to be able to clutch up. He does not make it through. Nerm falls to Felix there as well. So tons of players falling now on the rotate here. It could not weather the storm that was just so near. On the other side, 7 and Mars. Again, long rotate now. This is where the launch pads are going to come into play. 2 duos, pull zone on the upper side here. Everyone else inside the lobby. These other 22 teams have to make a move now.
Now the question is, when do 7 and Mars actually pull the pin and push? You probably want a few duels ahead of you so you can get a higher alert when you actually get in. If you take too long, there might be too many people waiting. Just beam you out of the air. So I would say maybe around that 5-10 second mark, you can just send this one all the way through and get ahead of the competition.
Edge and Suje sitting on the backside. Remember, if you don't have a launch pad at this point, you're really just looking to scrape the barrel, right? Figure it out. Who's got one? Who's going to put it down? Desperate plays. Seeing teams run towards the zone there. They're willing to trade damage for the pad. We'll find out if it's worth it. And Nolo pops his. He's out. 7's in the air. Okay, so everyone's done made it. No one caught behind. No one goes on foot either. You can see, you can tell, especially when the middle of the field's completely clear like that. So those community launch pads coming into full effect here. 23 duos still up, so no teams lost in the process.
Houston hits. Second chance at having a good position and turning it into points. First time. Brutally interrupted by people above them, so you can see it now. They're making sure they're paying attention to every floor above, at least if they own it, or which ones are threatening. They're also very good at dropping teams down, and here comes another version of it. Hits, takes the shot. Duke has the edit to hold, and that is just beautiful.
There it is. There's no time to cut these corners here. These players are going down. You try to run on enemy builds, you're gonna get trapped, you're gonna get caught out, and this is why you have to take it slow and steady. Break your way through. Go back to the fundamentals of Fortnite and Endgame. You got to control these builds here. You will get caught up in the process. Suje and Edge here. They actually pulled a 6 zone. This is even better than anything or anyone could have imagined. Now they have the front side, and with how much mass they have, the harpoon here as well. All the heals. Look at this. I don't even think they've been tagged up until now.
Not just yet, but this is kind of silly or insane. Someone's jumping up into Ethan's box as he's moving out. Look at what they've actually scouted, though. A huge high ground position that they actually can't even touch down on just yet. This one's going to be pulling in a very different way towards Steamy Stacks. They could have just rode on the side of that hill, but they'll choose to get a little bit lower to the ground.
Ethan, Tokyo, trying to layer change here, looking to go on up. Pure's got high ground here. Noisy. What's he going to do with it? Shots are flying out here. Russo does have an elimination here, so it's not for nothing. This high ground is already theirs. All they got to do is make it to endgame now. Remember, this is a primarily placement-based format. If you have high ground coming into this endgame, you just want to play it nice and safe, slow and steady as you approach this endgame here. But no,
okay.
Fields comes on up. He's looking for it. He's going with Dizraw. The cone comes through. Russo's caught up. Here comes the side jumps. Okay, this guy's got what it takes. He knows what he's doing here, but it costs him a lot of material. Dizraw has to give it up. Was it worth it?
I'm not sure, because this entire thing's only held up by like 2 different pieces of floors all the way down back inside the zone. Knows he still has it, and there's not much to connect to. Russo's feet, the ankle's broken as he lands, and there's still more challenges. A side jump pump comes in from the CFN boys, and now there's no chance for survival.
Look at this harpoon breaking through the build here, but no, it's not going to be enough. Down he goes. Dade's still up here with Moni. Siphon keeping him up inside the zone right now. All this material, all this heavy mat to work with here. Moni, he's got a player up above him. He's got a decision to make here. Go up or go down. Out comes the launch pad. He tries to hit the low pad. That was a bad one, though. He's going to have to hug the builds here. He gets his teammate, though. That's going to work out. Moni and Dade are still up right now. 4 elims. Now, they have an opportunity. They can breathe. They can figure it out.
Not only that, but whoa, what happens there? Looks like might have got chopped down or some crazy things all the way towards the end of the game. 8 zone rolling in, and Diddy has a pad to catch up all the way over to mid-ground. Once again, we're near a beach or water, so low is not where you want to be. Diddy with a quick pyramid edit to block shots as a solo, but you're exposing yourself to too many layers. Gets shot down on the chase. Now we're looking at the actual team surviving in pairs of 2.
Unfortunately, he runs out of material there, but Dade somehow swings his way all the way back around. So Moni and Dade play for the high ground. Ends up working out. Patience was key for them. 6 elims now. And the territory is theirs to control here. Water blanket just nearby. It's a top 8 situation. This is where all the placement points are, guys. It's not just about elims here. All they have to do is continue to survive on through. Couple solos still in the game right now, still in the mix here.
But the most important duo we're watching is on screen. 20 points ahead to start off the game. In first place still and alive towards the end. In the top 7 is Ethan and Tokyo. They were in this position before. They survived and then stole height towards the end, but it wasn't this difficult. They didn't have to actually land those shots. Tokyo gets blended and he's down. It's up to Ethan to close out this game.
Can Ethan carry the weight here, though, is the real question. Does he have the strength to make it through? Ooh, plenty of teams on him, plenty of bills. There goes the ramp edit. That was technical right there. A tag comes through. It's not going to buy him enough time. There's a fake floor edit. He doesn't slip through that either. He's inside the zone here, chunking, tanking it along, still building through. The zone favors him a little bit. He's still up. Top 6. Can he make top 5? Yes, he can. That's more points. He goes for the one shot. No shield on the opponent, but he couldn't take him down. On height, though. Bussa is still in this. Another solo here, too. It's a 2v1v1v1. And a shot from Chief comes through, and he's still up now.
Dylan all the way down low on the sand. Chief, Bill's kind of running out, but he has enough to maybe make it all the way towards the top. Dylan now found out. Prem drops down. Dodie is there, and he confirms the shot. 2v1 for Chief. He's gonna get his floor spammed a little bit. These guys have it running out of air on low ground, though. Prem's trying, and wow! The reverse jump shot from Chief Peace to win out the game.
That was clean there. He also barely had mats, but he decided to commit to the pump shot there, and another team walks away with the 10 elimination victory royale. Chief Police coming on through, or Chief Peace making his appearance well known. All played for him in the end game.
Hey, for that game, it's all about going all in. And for Chief, it definitely helped out all the way towards the end. You know, one player above him, he easily just held onto that charge, waited for the shot, committed to it, and got it. And then a 2v1 at the end, commit to your high ground layer, and then commit to the fight. Genius.
And that charge, man, it can be so deadly in those final moments, especially at range right there. That's the difference between the pump and the charge. We kind of gave light to the lever action in the early game, how it can work, how you have the quick pull out time, but that charge shot, can people forget, the range can really carry down when it's fully pressure cooked up. And that's what happened there. Oh man, what a play.
Yeah, it's just perfect. Just knowing what, you know, inventory you have, knowing exactly how to use it. Great from Chief Peace. And remember, this was a man rolling in with Mello in this crazy mid-game fight where there was so much focus. Picks up his teammate, ends up sticking the revive, gets to a max zone move, and then ends up winning the game. I mean, what more do you want?
Talking about a comeback story there. Way to carry the weight of the team there in the final moments and pull through with that victory royale. It's a solo clutch up there against a duo team, right? And then in the end game, they were together. I mean, the zone did the hard work for him, though. The shots came through, but still, nonetheless, here's Prem, who took second. Big clutches from him. This is Chief's angle. He catches Bust, and then he catches another before that, too. And there's the shot. There's the slide down. Big shot. It's beautiful just watching all the loot just explode there, right? Spread out on the low ground.
That was like 5 different people's loot, but Prem, great defense. Already just, you know, gassing up Chief on that crazy offensive play, and then to hold on to their spot, it seems like, too, you know, Ethan and Tokyo got top 5 that game. That's huge to get first and 5 after that. Must be, you know, really good for them for the next 4 games too.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, that's going to be it for game number 2. Things are really starting to heat up here for the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy stage. Give us a couple moments, though. We'll go ahead and get the leaderboards when we return. And of course, game number 3. We'll see you soon.
When inspiration strikes during midterms, you need Xfinity Internet. Fuel your passions with speeds fast enough to power all you do. Get inspired with awesome offers exclusively for students.
An unbelievable connection meets unbelievable speeds. Can your internet do that?
quick, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Autumn Anarchy here. Your boys Monster D-Face and Shia Wager. Just called the second game there. Pretty intense set of action. We're back because we want to take a look at the standings here soon and see how players are shaping up.
Yeah, definitely lots of different things from game 1 rolled into game 2. And right now looks like our kings stay kings. Ethan and Spence, aka Tokyo, 96 points. They're furthering their lead by almost 30 now, Monster. They're only getting better.
Yeah, that's consistency at its best. But Mellow and Frost, they took a second yesterday. Can they step it up here today once again? We know the games are starting to get ready as well. So we're going to breeze through the second page as well here pretty quickly. We want to see the rest of our top 10. Who is in the running right now? New names stepping up here.
Definitely. We'll see. Drake is still here, but Doty and Prem off that defense are really good. Ross McKinney will roll in. A little bit of a three-way tie overall. So we really can't see Water Blanket 2 with the momentum a little bit. The chase down that we saw all the way at Craggy. What exactly will, change up over here?
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, the points are still about the same here. 40 to 50 or so, about a victory royale's worth. Separate the players from the bottom of the barrel of top 10 up towards the top, where the cut is above the rest clearly there at 90 plus points. Looks like action unfolding here. New drop spots being contested here now, as I see Misty has a little bit of action. Camp Cod down low, but Chief and Mellow in a fight. John and Dieter in a fight as well. We got to watch the very interesting, long, drawn-out battle between Dieter and John Cena last game, but it's not looking too hot for Mr. Cena here, who's on the run right now.
Yeah, he needs mats badly. That was the difference maker for him, Dieter, versus the other duo earlier on in the last game in terms of how things went down. They had so many mats to delay, but without them and as a solo, might not work out for Pluto as well. No bailout for the enemy team. He'll be able to get that big shot down. Husa, the man who was looking so good, I think got 3rd place last game, is going to be taken out early.
Yeah, and a shakedown too, so they're going to get all the information out. I'm looking at the map. I don't see anyone nearby, so I'm assuming his teams are not anywhere close to him. A little split drop there. Cryptic on the other side is going to go on and be able to loot up this entire rainbow rental here. So this is a power drop, especially if they get it all the way on up to Holly Hedges gas station up there where the pirate ship is now. So plenty of loot for them. We'll see how they can actually end up making this all work here. That free Elam is pretty big for early game.
Definitely have the free shields, lots of massive work as well. BCR Ninja Men, they're actually putting on the aggression before they were kind of pushed towards a back wall and played defense for a lot of early engagements. Looks like there's a third party that might be in the mix as well over at Misty from a long range, but Mars is going to be their opponent for now. Hit by a Firefly in the air and a pump on the right side. Ninja Man is burning, 6 HP, and I don't think he has the shots to confirm, but so much damage on the Mars. Now BCR catches up and sees if he can wrap it up.
I was going to say, people forget just how much damage that grass on fire can do, and BCR doesn't help himself by running through it. And there it is. He gets taken out pretty quickly there. Mars and 7 end up figuring it out, clutching up here. They make it look nice and easy. Traded a knock for 2 Elams. Not bad if you ask me.
Yeah, let 7 get a little bit more damage on the field as well. Taking out both players, getting them low, and then hitting that pump. It's a small little thing, but will help them with overall surge thresholds, which we've seen come up to not really be too much of a difference maker. Diddy, though, inside the box, another edge of the map battle. Defying will have to just try to avenge his teammate. He'll have the opportunity to whiff pump, but a nice edit to save things all the way through. It's Domo that he's fighting.
That's well played there. He actually got the Elam before the opponent there could actually get the full Elam as well. So the siphon didn't go through for him. His teammate's still down, but doesn't matter. Defiant's got all the advantage here as he also gets to secure the loot too. So max material for him. Plenty to work with. You can see XS right there sitting down, but priority right now. Finish up this fight here.
Reactions from Defying, knowing exactly where not only his opponent's weak points are, but his own to put these builds up in defense. He's going to want to take height pretty soon if he wants to end up just winning this fight overall. Will he push for it? No, just a little bit of a scouting done with the ramp and the edits. If he goes for it, he'll have to just fully commit. Doesn't have enough mats to really have a long and sustained fight.
That's an opponent cone there too, so he knows exactly where he is. Here's the other perspective here of Blackhawk on the other side right now. He's trying to make this all work out here. No AR ammo. Makes sense as to why the pressure stopped coming through. He's starting to run low here.
Trying something. Blackhawk actually is the one to run out first. 9 shots. This has to be a big damage lever, but it looks like his opponent is really keeping a 2-layer distance, not letting it actually come through or happen. Last mat down, nothing available. And he knows, Defying knows, and he takes him out. What a nice retake. What a nice clutch 1v2 from Defying.
All played there. You could just tell he was a little bit quicker on the pull. And the fact that he had the material advantage there really ends up working out. You saw he was able to just play for the retake there, which is risky in the early game, but you know, sometimes you just end up getting a little bit more material, and that a lot of the times in Fortnite is going to be the difference maker. Players like Zigzag, Zoe here need to be picking up as much mats as possible here, especially when they're playing the land like this. It's not going to be a lot of time to do it later. As players start to hit some of these random locations and POIs on the rotate on in.
The timing will be a big thing. 38 now. Usually once we get to this number of teams left, it doesn't change. Maybe 2 or 3 go down to the 5th zone, but this will be 4 zones in a row of a lot of people rotating, and try not to bleed out too much on mats, HP, or shields. Looks like Cranberry and Fennec might be here to show us one of the last fights we see on the map in terms of early game. Good defense a little bit from Cran to get all the way up on height, but it looks like he's going to be matchable for blow, build for build, all the way towards the top, trying for another angle, but he gets stopped. No idea where Xfinity is. This looks like a 1v1 right now that Cran ends up losing.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking to put up the big numbers there. He was trying his best, but the one miss right there, that slight hiccup on the edit, slowed him down, allowed Nosy to really read the play, and Nosy's in here by himself. We don't even see a teammate with him, so must have not have made it into the lobby. Talk about impressive.
This is really good for him then, because, you know, every point's gonna matter, and they're gonna be so much harder to get when you don't have a teammate in it with you. Elam there, you got the +2 points, 100% guaranteed for just joining up in the lobby. If you can survive 8 teams going down, that's even more placement, and then exponentially more after that as well. So Nosy right now just has to beat the clock.
Cool part about this is that he could just sit there on the card as well and beat out the next 1v1 if the opponent's going to come on through for the card. So it's a viable strat in duos. I mean, I do it at least. He's trying to play for those Elams. Otherwise, though, Camarino here looking for another player. Crip and bail out Pluto in another fight, too. Player on the low ground. Very low on mats. You can see just trying to play the wall there. And no, the greed comes in and the punishment is there. And look at this. Harpoon into the box, of course. Oh, the hesitation, but he still hits the pump. Oh, man.
These players can't even hear this harpoon. That's the second time I've seen someone jump into a box, just chill there for a second, tap the boy, dap him up and say, hey, what's up? And then land the pump. So might be around 3 going in for Pluto again. He just has the beams there looking for the confirmation, actually putting pressure on Bella to do something here to try to get on the aggressive, try to make a mistake, because there's no way he's going to be able to defend this for free.
Here it is, trying to get this shot in. Oh, no. Caught with the pickaxe out. Got to be careful here. That's a reset. It's a one-on-one situation. Bella, he hits it. Now he's coming on up, but no, slips, misses the side jump here. Gives him time, though. He can definitely play for the pickup. Doesn't even look to replace the wall. He's going to leave the wood up. That's the biggest risk. Pluto reads this right. Ooh. Be all over. He figures it out. He knows where he's at. Pluto's got to think about this, though. Did he get the pickup? He doesn't really know.
That was very close. I think a second and a half off, and now he definitely knows he's in a 1v1. The issue, though, is that Bella should be able to pick up all those mats inside the box. So he also knows that he's at a very big disadvantage in terms of resources. Zone's coming in, too, so a little bit of just a move there, denying any sort of chug barrels for Bella to use on the way in, and has a very sneaky position here to maybe punish Bella coming up, and sees him move through. Few tags already come in. Knows there's so many mats he has to go through, so any damage works over here. Nothing connected, but what a shot, and Zone might actually end up taking Bella out. Yes, Pluto knows. Wow, that was mid-air, last second, straight to the dome.
Yeah, and it was looking really bad for him. He wasn't able to build off of the roof there because the roof, the way the build works, you actually can't put walls there. So for him to kind of just like play off the gun hip fire there and hit such a monster shot to win that one was actually impressive, because otherwise he gave up his advantage the moment that opponent jumped up on the build there and had a bit of high ground. So way to kind of come back there, but there's a team waiting for him on the other sides. It's GG and Divs. who heard all that action and they're watching the inside here. They know, give it a couple moments and a player will be coming out here soon. He should be lit up. Look how long he's sitting inside the storm line.
Trading the HP for shields. It looked like he was in the tree, but no. He's way far back in the builds. This is going to be tough. He has to assume there's no one else here at all. There's no builds in sight. These guys walked up and hid behind natural cover on his screen, and Pluto still can't see him, but he defends. He's no stranger to 1v2s. He's having a little bit of issues going all the way in, and Pluto ends up just dashing by. This could be doable if he doesn't take too much damage.
Still tough, though. He's got a heal here. But GG, man. GG just forgot how to build for a second. He's missing so much builds. He messed up the wall before Pluto gets away. Div's gonna have to get up here and support GG, man, because Pluto's giving him a run for the money right now.
Yeah, this guy's not getting touched, and every second this fight goes longer, the reward for Div and GG is gonna be much lower. Wow, what a shot. That might just confirm it here, but all Pluto has to do now on his side of things is waste every single material possible. Okay, hold up. This might be an Elam. He can get two. Whiffs a very important shot. And now GG might just look to just wait it out, just like Pluto did to his opponent before. Let that zone come in. You don't have to get your hands dirty at all. And there it is. But wow, what a big front of defense Pluto put up and really made these guys work for this elimination.
Yeah, GG, you gotta wake up, brother. That was close there. Oh no, as I say that, he takes fall damage there too. So pretty rough for GG right now. He's trying to figure it out here. Game 3 pressure at an all-time high. Nervousy though with the harpoon pull. Get out the box there onto Monkey. Now Monkey's left to run for it. We're seeing a little bit of everything right here. Highlights galore. Drops him into the box. Monkey gets caught. And down he goes. Nervousy. All mats. Oh, these are the Shark brothers. Oh no.
Yeah, I was saying you can't really catch monkeys out of the ocean, but if he has a shark outfit on, it might just attract that harpoon a little bit faster and farther. I mean, what a free pickup.
Yeah, that was rough. Talked about, like, it's pretty tough to hear and track the harpoon shots amongst the heat of the action and the opponent shots and whatnot, but man, to get pulled out the box, that's just rough. That means your wall has to go down and the swap and shot have to come through. So lack of awareness is really going to punish it in this kind of setting. Nervousy is like, instead of looking for the opponent, we're just going to break the whole build down. He's going to have to reveal himself somehow, some way. Should be the last wall there. On the other side, Kaisto hunting here with Grandpa Skit. They have max material coming into this one. Pretty good for them. Looking very, very much like this is their fight to win here.
Yeah, the issue is on these retakes, they seem a little bit clunky and slow. They're actually getting all the way up the height and turning properly with these builds. As a result, the team they're fighting punishes them twice. Looks like Anon is having none of this whatsoever, and Dice just completely disengages. As soon as he gets pressured, kind of crumbles underneath it. And it's not even that serious. All they did is break one build, but it looks like Dice and Grandpa Skip are pretty scared to keep fighting.
Comes the time to slide on out. Into the vehicle they go. They're going straight to the new zone, which is luckily very close by, so they should be able to actually play for a prime position since they're on the dead side right now. Already 66 players remaining in the lobby here. Another harpoon comes out. Man, we're seeing a lot of harpoon action right now. I think this is the result of the removal of the chug cannon, so less teams housing up the bulk of their inventory with a 2-space item, right? Like, I think that's the difference maker. So more reason to pretty much pick up things like the harpoon and play it, because it's valuable.
Yeah, the replacement for the chug splash cannon too, just the chug splashes in general, only ever take up that one slot. So no matter what, you're always gonna have that one extra one open. And the harpoon, I mean, you get to do aggressive plays that we're watching right now. You get to set up traps to get people off their builds like we've seen multiple times in the tournament today. And you get to just keep refreshing your master towards the end of the game. So it's definitely huge, and it's one of the best items to have inside your inventory.
Definitely. I love that the harpoon's becoming a staple item to have inside the inventory here. Utility through the roof. On this side, though, Nick and company just getting their heels on. Not too far off from them. We have Water Blanket, the Nolo here on the cut. No Elims.
Yeah, this is tough for them. I feel like they got their name on the top 10 from all their early hunting, getting, you know, multiple people down over and over at Craggy, and then a little bit more mid-game action. And late game seems to be a little bit of an issue for them overall. Felix and Dizrod, though, they make it to late game, but don't get towards the upper echelon of points. Don't get super, super high on the board. So we'll see if they'll have a chance to kind of fix that.
Oh, here's Felix and Dizrod. Just looking for them. No elims. Big mats, big heals, harpoon in the inventory. Okay. They pull zone here. This is the same spot we saw them in last time, so quite literally playing off of the same general areas here. Seems like this is the pathing for them. I like this, though. I like the consistency of where they're positioning themselves at. To me, that just shows that they have that experience here. For a team that needs to continue to rinse and repeat and play for high placement points. I mean, they have, what, 4 games in front of them, this one included, so plenty of time here for players to bounce back, teams to bounce back. For Anan, J Carbs, they got to be careful. Punishment coming through. This power shotgun's in plays here. They're not the only team, the big boy pump.
And they might have a false sense of confidence if, I think, stopped 2 duels from pushing them, but there were ones that were kind of weak and didn't really like getting pressured. For Edge and Suje, I mean, this is the top 10 collegiate team. No matter what happens to these guys, even if they get set back a little bit, like you see with these sprays, they'll heal up, end it over again, and then reply with more shots.
Suje, though, they were definitely leading the aggression there. Determining the pace of the action here. They have the zone. No need to really overexert themselves here, as they have just that outer edge. Remember that half in, half out zone is going to reveal itself. They even have the wind tunnel here to play off of, so they're going to have the free rotate to the next zone. This is honestly a very prime position to be in, but no, they're going to give it up. No, this is the low ground thing. Okay, Carbs and A9 was like, all right, these guys are a little too much pressure coming out from them. We're just going to give them the space that they need. Play around this mountain here. I like this. This cuts off the vision here, so it's going to end up working out for them. And they pick up materials in the process here. Completely dead in this valley here. What a good call to make here.
And so risky staying out too long as they go towards the right side of that big rock. They will be exposed to a few more teams, so they end up building out. Camarino cut, we saw them earlier on all the way over at Hydro Dam, and I feel like this team is one that is still trying to find their footing. Over at Caddy, looks like this is the 3rd game where they're disengaged super fast. Don't have a POI to call their, own, to call home, really. So you see that kind of reflected on the loot. They don't have the most upgraded in terms of materials overall, and just have a few shields here or there. Duke and hits, I mean, these guys have looked the most comfortable, I feel like, in every single game so far. They made every end game, just to make sure they end up winning one now and really going all the way towards top 3.
That's right. That's where they need to jump themselves up into. Top 3 is that cutoff point. And if you missed the memo the first time, guys, there is still $10,000 on the line here. So top 8 is what the players are fighting for at minimal here to make some cash prize today. Scav and Snowy included. Yesterday's #1 performance is not going to cut it. It's about how they play today, here and now. When we last saw them, they were inside the top 10 after the last game, though. They slipped out of the favor. Looking to jump back into it.
Always game 3 is like kind of that turning point to see if your old strats are going to be working. If not, in that game 4 you have to switch everything up. So definitely, you're right, might be the time for Scav to have his last chance here. Busa, though, revived from the early game. He got picked off once already. This time has to tank zone to get all the way back in to Jacob, who gets sniped or just double beamed all the way through while replacing the wooden walls on the side. So this is going to be tough, and I think they know exactly who they were fighting or who got knocked where. The team right below them, they're not going to stop this pressure down. It's Suche, and wow, fully capitalized on. Busa's gone.
Another big fight here for Edge and Suje. Just continuing to push players, and this is the reason why that other team got out of here. They just recognized, all right, these guys are a little too crazy for us. Wild cards in the play, wild cards in the mix right now. Cut and Camarino, though, on the other side. Away from this dangerous duo, but close to the new zone. They're eyeing the players on the outside. I think they have recognized that a little time to work with, but Camarino's trying to get the rotate on through. He's making the call. Let's get a move on it. Let's get on out of here. Let's get to this new zone. Let's situate up. And that's what they do. This is a good spot right here.
A1 200 with Drake. These guys are the survivors. Somehow never end up going down, even if they have a pixel of zone to work with. So We'll see what they adapt with. They have the peppers to use as well. Once again with Lazy Lake, this might be the third game in the row that we have every team going towards water. Maybe we go towards these Rocky Mountains too. If you're low ground, either way, you have to be just worrying and waiting as to what will happen.
2 elims already for A1 and Drakey. This is where they're looking to draw the line, though. They're trying to hold these players out. They are on the congested side here. Look at that. The feed is lighting up. Derpy's going to find control. That's 1 man down from that deadly duo there of Harsh and Control. That equation coming to fruition there. Let's see it. All the information that's being gathered right now is going to play super valuable for A1 because he's got to decide whether or not he wants to go on foot, play back for the potential launch pad here. Up top, Fennec and Cranberry. Cranberry's down. Players knocking on the wall. Fennec, he's got to move out. Launch pad, drop it. Yes, there it is. He's gone.
Made it as a solo all the way to this point, and he finds a few more materials. At the same time, one of the best positions you could be in for this circle. He's not going to have many boxes to kind of work with, and he needs to save mats to actually fight teams together at the same time. So this will be a very tough situation for him. Hits though, jumped back and blocked off the launch pad. That will hurt.
You saw the speed splash come through there, just trying to get right back into the run. Not sure if that was going to be enough. We'll find out. Yes, it is. He gets back to the front side of the zone. Is he with his teammate is the true question, but everyone else is still on the move right now. I see Derpy alive on the south side here. Very lit up, barely any HP. On high ground, though. Scav and Snowy, we knew they needed a victory out. We saw they fall. We saw them fall out of top 10 last game, and now they're trying to hop back into it. For Moni and Dave, though, they're trying to do the same as well. They're getting active here. Down goes 7. Big pickup there and the refresher. They get all the loot. Perfect for an endgame rotate.
Splash is there to get Dade back in the game as well in terms of HP. This is huge, and since they're still in low ground, there's so much more loot trickling down, trickling in, but they have to get all the way up, pass by it, and move past Felix, past everyone else to survive. Kirk, 1 HP. He saw Isolate go down, has to beam through builds to live. Snowy and Scav all the way up top also end up going down on height. Looks like CFN might have taken over. Derpy Dylan taken down by Zigzagoo. There's no chance for anyone to survive on any layer right now. Looks like everyone's in trouble.
Felix still in the feed there. He finds Drakey, another man down on high ground. New Kings are up top. It's Edge and Sujay, the most aggressive we've seen in the game here. And I'm assuming they went for it. They put all the cards on the table. They made the big play. They went all in for the pot. And it's working out right now. And they have enough mats to sustain it too here. Felix on the other side as a solo trying to clutch up. But Mars makes the edit here. Into the zone Felix goes. He knows he's got the heals to play off of, but this is a risk.
Definite risk, but gonna heap tons of rewards as many teams are going down in the feed, and Felix is just gaining points over and over again. Still has lots of materials to have just maybe 1 or 2 final bases. Ethan falling down by his side. Looks like first place is somehow still alive and moving on the same layers that Felix is. Moni here, I think without Data, doesn't try things as a solo, but Defying will be there to pick him up. Water Blank again, Nanolo, top 10, still alive inside this feed as Camarino goes down.
Let's see here. This is getting crazier and crazier in the end game right now. A1 by himself, 24 HP, make it a little bit more as Camarino is the siphon he much needed. There's so many players in the box. A1's gonna step on in. That's a white tag onto Defying. Water Blanket just nearby as well. He's gonna play the zone first. The pre-shot through the window there. Down he goes, and Water Blanket is out for the count here. Big plays by A1. That's how you clutch up here into top 10. Here he goes, another window edit. Can he go 2 for 2?
He can predict the future, but can he survive long enough to actually live inside it? A1 200 is snuck by, and now is in a very good spot in mid-ground. Meanwhile, looks like height is way high in the sky. It's Sujay and Edge, and they want nothing to do with this chaos down below. Diddy going for shots. Moni gets picked apart. Everyone is dropped into the same box. This on the backside. Donia going down. A1, he runs away again. The 4th time fleeing away. 2 different duos rattling on his builds, but he ends up living. Now, a 2v1 down below with a team on heights.
CFN needed that one as well. That's another elimination here. 13 on the low ground. Can they make it a full 15 here? They barely have mats though. CFN's completely out. It's up to Diz if he has enough to go in and bring it up. Yes, he's gonna have to step on through. He's got pepper effects as well, so a little bit of speed here. This is still clutchable. but it just looks like Edge and company have been in the fast lane this entire time. They have a fair lead, but the side jumps are coming through. Edge still playing the zone beautifully there. He's got control of it. That's one down. The clutch is coming through from the duo on the low ground, but they have heals. Edge is still in it. He's going to go for the toe-to-toe open shot, and it's going to be enough for him to clutch up there. Well played for Edge, who was patient in the end game.
Edge using the zone as a chokehold all the way towards the end. That was beautiful. But at the same time, that team down below, 15 elims, that's nothing to laugh at all, or close to, right? That's almost a victory royale.
I think it was enough to definitely be the #1 as far as points go in that game there for CFN and Diz. The aggression in the early game, the plays in the end. Now wait for them to, again, go the distance there, but high ground is going to be king here. Suja there, they end up clutching it all the way through, and they take the dub.
Yeah, big ground in that game was the busy streets. I mean, that was crazy. The amount of times you saw people, like 5 different duos in the same box that end game, and somehow only one went down. How is that even possible? It's just insane.
Yeah, that was tight. That was very, very tight at the very end there. I mean, when his teammate went down, I thought it was all over for a second there. Edge ends up pretty much falling, but the fact that they're going to go and take home that victory royale, that's at minimal 41-point swing, 2 points per elim. So whatever they picked up is definitely going to be a big, big jump up for them. Remember, Ethan's team was the one that was in first place. I don't remember necessarily seeing them too much in the end game there. So I am very much curious if that was them or if they made it all the way through, because here it is. Edge 4 and Suje are the team that end up walking all the way. And you saw that there. I think that was like 6 elims or so on the quick glimpse of their perspective. So big game for them.
Yeah, beefy game for them too. I think we saw Ethan at some point in the top 12, top 10 when Felix was alive, just kind of gliding by the box. So we'll see exactly if they can still hold on to first place.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough, though. We saw how quickly the points start to stack up towards the top. So we'll find out shortly, though, guys. Give us a quick moment here. Grab yourself a drink or two, maybe harvest some materials, and we'll see you when we get back for game number 4.
Welcome back to Xfinity Autumn Anarchy. And while I have you here, let's take a second to talk about Xfinity real quick, right? They're the Autumn Anarchy sponsor for this tournament and everything the collegiate players are playing and you guys are watching for the moment. And they deliver a reliably fast gig Wi-Fi for clutch moments like you're seeing these players do, and for exams, which I guarantee we'll have to do in a little bit at least. So you get inspired, by all of this and, participate with awesome student exclusive offers for watching and playing even just your favorite games. Plus, you can get access to amazing perks like a $100 prepaid card, or if you like to bump tunes, the, Amazon entire music unlimited experience for, no term contract at all when you're involved as well. You can learn more about any of this if it sounds interesting to you at xfinity.com/student. And gig speed Wi-Fi, of course, involves a gigabit internet speed itself, but at the same time, a compatible X-Fi gateway. So if you have all that, you have it set up, you can definitely tune in to see what's up. And the actual speeds might not vary, might not be guaranteed. We have been guaranteeing you guys this awesome time so far, Monster. The entire tournament, all of Autumn Anarchy, I mean, it's been a little bit more than I even expected.
Yeah, definitely. The players have been bringing the action, keeping us very busy, on our toes the entire way through. We're going to have to take a look at the leaderboards, though, because that last game was an exciting one. New team coming up towards the top. In Edge and Jay, right? Sujay there, you saw what they did, but Ethan and Spence have so far done enough to maintain their stronghold on number one. Pretty good so far. The grip is real up top, but now that gap has been closed down to 20 points here. It's the difference between first and second. For everyone else, though, Drakey and Dustin, consistency for them all the way through. We've honestly seen them round after round. So top 5 looking good. Here's our top 10.
Yeah, Mellow Frost, I think this is the biggest change up that I saw from last game to this one. I think they were about second place overall, and now they're all the way over at 9th. So definitely strugglesome. Might have been a little bit of issues early game overall last game. Big guys to keep on for Derpy and Dylan, that team in 8th place, as well as Kandan and Water Blanket, who we've seen try to get aggressive, but they're not as hot as our second place team right now, who is just pushing everyone. That's Sujay and Edge and just, popping off.
Let's not forget, it's that top 3 that players are fighting for. So coming out of game number 3, essentially the halfway point in the tournament, if you're in top 3, you're feeling pretty good here. Top 8 is going to be the cash cut off as well. So with the final 3 games in front of us, we're going to end up finding out who's got what it takes to maintain that top position. Is it enough for Ethan and company, who are up top right now with the lead? They've been holding it since they've gotten there. It's about whether or not Tokyo has got what it takes to continue to step on up. But with Edge and Sujay on their heels, can they fight for the big prize there in the end as well?
Yeah, Ethan all the way up top. Started off with a 21-point lead, and then the next game it was about 32, and now it's all the way up at a 24-point lead. The first team to hit triple digits, it looks like Pleasant Park, is what they're really attacking over here, and they have the whole POI uncontested, so no wonder they get a chance to do so well.
Wait a second. No, there's a team landing now at the doghouse here. And I like what Ethan has done there. He's actually switched up the drop. Before they were taking modern. This time he sees a team and he actually cuts them off from their loot rotation by landing at the gas station here, denying them of this position here, but more importantly, giving them a little bit of pressure to keep those extra eyes on his teammate on the other side of the neighborhood here. So has to be very careful. Be too split. Look at this. Again, playing smart, looking to cut them off, trying to eliminate how much material they can actually pick up here, but the pressure's a little too real. He's gonna have to back on off and get all the way, but no, he forgot mats for the rotate. Gotta be careful there.
Yeah, you're gonna have fuel for the car, but you need fuel for yourself as well to be able to get that defense and offense going. A little bit of a risk to keep these guys contained while he struggles to get a little bit of his loot up. Tokyo's been looting for free. He's shielded up. His mats should be good, so now maybe Tokyo will step up, take a little bit of that pressure down while Ethan gets things situated.
Not only that, 2 more teams revealed to the west, just outside of the Pleasant Park. One's a solo split drop there. Another's a duo, possibly inside the wind tunnel or just looting the general area there. So with all of these threats lingering by, Ethan hasn't even glanced over once just yet. There it is. Shots are going to come through. So now he knows there's a team there. Tokyo's going to spot him as well. Big decisions here.
Up between 2 different teams. Ethan looks to bully the left one a little bit, but that gives an audio cue to exactly what's going on to the doghouse team. He splits them apart even more. So far, it looks like the doghouse team has only really looted 2 different buildings inside this entire POI. Meanwhile, Ethan and Tokyo have devoured everything. We go towards the south side of the map to see exactly what's up, and it's Derpy and Dylan already getting aggressive. They landed earlier on this side of the map as well, so their game's advancing at a little bit of a faster pace.
Isn't that interesting though? The way you can play a drop spot and just manipulate or like
Yeah.
cut off, right? Like that was like some high level positioning right there. I really love what we saw. I think it's grossly underrated what you can do in the early game as far as strategy goes, right? Like raw strat with positioning, that was key. And look, Ethan and Tokyo, I mean, that's all just off of the backs of how he played that vehicle and the drop switch up. Like I said, landing at the gas station, I just knew automatically right then and there. I was like, oh yeah, he's doing something really smart. He's taking this loot from them. Then he takes it a step further. He takes the vehicle and cuts off the building, or at least an attempt to, right? So big plays from them. Well-deserved victory, and that's worth reviewing right there. Well played.
Yeah, literally starting and ending a war of attrition in an instant. And now it'll be two teams who have had all the loot that they want. It's all set up, and they're getting ready to fight. Escape Schwarzy and Meek, and Schwarzy goes down first again. Once before we saw it happen in mid-game, it left Meek to try to go for a little bit of a clutch, but then Meek goes down trying to pick up Schwarzy. He's going to be in a 1v2 again. No reboot this time. Up against Mars and Seven. That's a very tough duo to beat.
And low ammo for the count as well. Back with Divs and GG though. GG, no HP, very low here. Storm's going to be coming through soon, so this fight's got to be quick. Luckily, this new zone's very close by, so they have a little bit of time to mess with here, but how far can they make it? GG's going to pop his mech, so he's back in the running, but show us the low ground team. They have enough mass to play for the retake there. Anan finds a great shot, but not good enough. He loses his shield. Anan goes down now. GG with the quick follow-up there. Well played.
Ooh, okay. GG with the 360 degrees of protection right now. Dropping shots all around and saves the Siphon in case things go bad. So he still looks good. And now they're going to use this 2v1 situation to try to just get ahead of the pack, get these Elim points on board, and win the POI.
Yes, sir. We call that the Byakugan. See what Jim can do now. He's trying to step on up. GG's though is already popping off. He's already up on the box. You can hear the shots coming through. Div's going to try and step up. GG winning the fight here. He goes for the side jump and he wins that one as well. 2 elims for him. J Carbs gets taken out. They'll be the victors of the Coral Castle and all the loot in between here. This Shark POI not even fully looted. You can see extra material and everything left behind as far as the ammo count goes. But again, that clock's ticking here on the other side. JMA and Figment in a battle. Oh, this is up against Scav.
Oh, it's going to be a tough opponent to beat. This is bad, I feel like, for JMA for the moment, or JMA for the moment. Scav goes for another angle, try to find the head. Down behind him, Figment is going to be able to put a little bit of pressure down too. Where is Snowy for the moment? Maybe setting a trap. Yeah, he put some big damage down onto Figment. He ends up healing with chug splashes and some minis. And now, because of that, because they know he's all the way down by himself, they'll pinch on the JMA.
Snowy and Scav, they've been there in those end games. They've been there in the positions to succeed, but they haven't quite closed it. Will they be able to put aside all the differences that they've had up until this moment here and just close out? Is the real question. There's still so much time, so much room left in the rest of this tournament here to do big things. This is game number 4 here. But no, Scav lets his guard down. He gives it up. Actually slips off the build here. It's going to be a back and forth, but Figment goes down. Scav ends up recovering from the situation here. Snowy. He's got this player with no HP in the box, only 10. And just like that, they end up catching a nice little 2-piece elimination there on the edge of zone. So big gains for them.
Still seems kind of like, you know, the endurance of the day might be catching up to Scav and Snowy. A lot of the fights they've been taking so far have been close to perfect in the early game, and that one kind of lasted a little bit longer and cost them a little bit more overall. So maybe the fatigue might be setting in. At the same time, a perspective we haven't seen before. Steamy Stacks rolling through. Shots all the way up in the sky. Russo lands 1. I'll give him that. 2 out of 60 is not bad.
See if he can get the big follow-up here. It's 1.
He's the
No
tarper.
follow-up.
He's the tarper for the team. You know what I mean? He gets nosy from point A to point B, and then they do the damage.
His value, you know, just increases in the late game, you know?
Yeah.
That's all, dude. Prem on the other side. See what they can do. Okay. Spicy splashes come out.
Oh
They
my
have the
heels.
speed. Yeah. Not only do they have the spice splash, they got the chug splashes too, and the floppers. These are quick heals. Man, John Cena just hasn't been looking too hot for them today.
Dude,
coming across all these power duos.
We got to hit up John Cena's agent because these are the worst, fights he signed up for. I've never seen John Cena lose these many bouts. I don't know what the sign up is, what's going down with the agency with John Cena, but we got to get it figured out.
How's he still in college?
True. Might be doing like a method acting role for a movie. You know what I mean?
I believe it. Another 21 jump right here. We'll see how this ends up playing out though. Big pots come through. Dancing up top. Okay, so they're trolling the opponents right now. They're trying to beat them out, bring them into their domain here. Big shots coming on over. These are going to connect this time. Liking what I'm seeing, but those are not big enough to fully commit, fully close out a fight. Still can't let the guard down though. The opponent he's looking for is just nearby. That's an imminent threat. Dieter, he's got his back. SMGs come out. This is where Dieter likes to be. Uh-oh, boxed up now.
I've seen this before. I've seen this happen before, but they were so close and down to the floor. This time, I think Dieter, it's John Cena who gets caught first, all the way up high. Prem takes him down super fast. Then Doty's looking for the next one right now, too. Prem searching for it. It's Dieter, and there's no way he can just turtle the whole time. He can switch his layers, though. That'll buy him a little bit of time, but that fall damage will come in. They're having a fun time. They're having fun.
He slipped. He fell. He got taken out. GG's. Got to look before you leap right there. And just like that, Dieter and John Cena get wrapped up in the early game here. Prem and Doty are going to find all the loot that they need. And again, this is at the north side. This zone's going unusually north right now, so it's going to be a heavy favor up top. Here come the players now. The early rotator, Speedy and Chief on the move right now. Harsh controller in front. They see some brick here. They want to play off of that, but instead the shots come in. He swaps over to the metal. Just got to be careful, though. It's not free yet.
These are the riskiest portions of the mid-game, kind of, when everyone's just first getting into the zone. Some people might be kind of crazy and looking to push things. Remember, with it being game 4 as well, lots of players are looking to switch up the way they're approaching the game. Some might want to get more aggressive, but might not know the best ways to break into a box. So much as full grief all the way in. All good, though, as we go towards greener pastures outside one of the northern portions of the circle. It's Bella and I don't even know looking at their next shot.
Trying to move up now. It's boosted down low, looking for the peak here. They're all outside the zone right now, so it's going to be a very interesting rotate. This is a zone we really don't get to see very often. Good north chunk, all in the water, so plenty of ways you can play it. Ooh, big damage from the fall there. It's okay. He's got a couple med kits. No big ammo to really play off of, though, so these shots have to be slow and precise.
So let us just go a little bit further in. Airdrop also somewhere close by that some teams might fight for. Busa Jacob, very good at setting up traps, but at a head-on fight, I'll have to possibly give this one over to Bella and the duo of I don't even know Brett. We'll see exactly if they clash or end up just moving around. Just dropping a few tags. Not really going for that box fight.
Ooh. IDEK tagged up, no shield. Bella on the run. Oh man, this AR does so much damage. This is a quick 70 tag right there. A quick reset for Bella back to 150. I don't even know, getting pushed right now by Busa. Looking for the wall, but no, he doesn't get it. Gotta be careful though. Now he's between all the opponent builds. Like the control there. Throws the cone in there. And oh, the side jump in. He reads them. He shouldn't have opened the build. Mistakes were made there. Jacob Skur on the other side is going to go ahead and step on in now. They have secured the loot here too.
All right, so now with IDEK gone, usually it was Bella going down first. This time will have to be the clutch maestro of the situation. Much more of an empty lobby too. Usually we get hard stuck at the 36, 38 threshold of teams. We're down to 28. Storm Surge should not even be a problem for anyone in this game. So everyone should really just be disengaging for now. Maybe just playing towards the end game. It's all about placements in this format as well. Busa looks like they're ready to hunt this game.
I think that's one thing people just forget. It's all about the placement points here. You really got to think about the format. Try to metagame that if you want to be very successful who are breaking into top 10 today. This is a play for the reboot card. You should be able to pick it up there. All he's got to do is touch it here. Distinct sound effects, though, when you're coming in from the low ground. It's going to be very easy to tell where he is, and for that reason, he gets tagged on the way through. I don't think he's got the launch pad, though. Remember, the opponents ended up picking up the loot there. There was a pad involved. No, the bad edit. Tried. It's
No
not going to be
chance.
enough.
Wrapped up, and there's no one else really here for Jacob and Boost. So that's what the thought was. There is one duo that rolls up. Is getting ready. They were silent so far, waiting for this fight to finish. Then they might just drop down a completely isolated fight at the edge of the zone. It's going to be perfect for them to take. Meanwhile, imperfection for Mika and Sweetie. They get taken out again. It's GG and Div who are here looking for even more elims this game. GG is just awake now compared to before. Gets put back to sleep, though. They might be a little bit more aggressive, but their skills kind of still the same. And now Div, he goes all the way back.
So unfortunate here. Div's going to have to back on out. And he can't play for the card just yet either, or the pickup, because it's just a little too late. We're starting to approach the 4th zone here, and they're coming back the exact way they rotated in. And this is going to be the full disengage now into the bush. That's a sign of desperation here, just in case he's being chased. No one's there. He's fine. He'll be okay. And there he gets a glimpse of the opponent, so he knows. He's got the pretty much free rotate, as long as he doesn't gather their attention.
Man.
They're not looking for him either.
Yeah, no, remember the format we were just talking about, right? They just got to free heal him. They were just planning on just, moving on, now playing that placement-based format. It just sucks because that could have been GG still alive, rotating and getting ready to play an entire full game of placement. But now it's just going to be a solo player.
Are we going to see it? I thought we were going to see someone get in the box. Done with 6. Gavin Snowy's still getting active there. Schwarzy going to fall now. Again, seeing tons of moments of greatness from that duo that was in the lead from yesterday. Dodia and Premdo, 2 elims right now in this game. This could be their run. On the other side, 7. He's going to find one. His teammate's down, though. He tries to get the full thirst. He's going to find it out to Harsh, which means Control is still up on the low ground here. 7's going to back on out. He doesn't want to be a part of this mix here. There's another duo just next door.
3-way fight. It's all on hard mats and builds. First team to make a mistake. Honestly, they end up going down, but whoever capitalizes then gets, ganked as well, and they go down. No one here really wants to go all in. If they do, it could start that domino effect.
It's about to play out here. Ooh, big pump from behind. Care now, 7. Standing right on top of what could be Control's cone there. Yeah, I'm seeing red here. There it is. He's trying to get the replace. A little bit of Control. No, he could have just edited him down. There it is. Little reset here. Control's got so much mats, too. This is all of his teammates' builds, and it probably the opponent from up above.
That's the
No one's
thing,
steady
though.
here.
It's 2 solos. It's 7 and Control, right? Like, these guys definitely want to end up taking this fight. It's going to be huge for them moving on, but they're so safe in zone. It's going to be very tough to take.
Not only that, they're both highly skilled players. Look at the roster. These are absolute standout names right now. But back with Drakey and A1, who are sitting pretty on the side of this mountain. Quite possibly the best position the zone has to offer at the moment. And not only that, remember, this is a team that is very much fighting for that top 3 spot right now. I believe they're sitting in it. Let's go and glance at the feed here. Yeah, Drakey and Dustin. These guys are up there. They're in top 3. They're holding it down right now.
Phoenix gets down Jake. Craig too, so huge, but always with this duo, it's just a one-man operation. It's either Cranberry popping off with Phoenix down early, or vice versa. And it looks like we're in that Versa universe for the moment. Baggy Cliffs, the hometown for a few teams that love to get aggressive. But for Phoenix, no matter where home is, he's going to be alone.
Let's watch it play out here. Another solo left in the mix. You can see in the wide shot, that's him right there inside the shack. The southernmost portion of the zone. Other teams starting to make their move through the north, cutting wide here. These are players just trying to get desperate here, get some builds, find some location inside, hopefully pull zone right now, as it's going to reveal itself soon. Everything's starting to close in. Derpy and Dylan still up right now in the center. Duke and Hits once again on a high ground position here. They know how to play these zones. They have really found a lot of success in these early key positions. I'd say up until the end game. It's really about what they do now that's going to separate them to that top 3 position here. Man, the zone pulls to that mountain there, Shia.
Yeah, this is going to be so tough for these guys to move. Every time they have this half and half position, you know, it just goes somewhere else. Like the potential for it just gets removed, and then the trouble's always on movement for Duke. Nanolo and Water Blanket is kind of the same situation, always moving, never actually being able to stay in one place and reap the benefits of having a good base early built on. Because of this displacement, they get these tags up over and over again, have to go through their minis, don't have any ready for the moving zones at all, so they got to make sure they're staying safe, keeping high and try. Meanwhile, Kais, Grandpa's already down. He might be put to the ground as well. Yep, no chance for him. It'll be Busa once again on a tear this game, getting their, what, 4th elimination? 5th right now.
Yep, that's it right there. Big shots here for Duke and Hits, who pulled that half and half out. Now they're just raining pressure onto anyone trying to step up to this mountain face here. Remember, they would have had to have built all the way up. That's going to be a huge expansion or usage of mats here just to get this close for them. And look, they have the side angles. They have all the control of the lobby, and no one is nearby. All those builds now officially vacant due to their pressure. Kinney and Ross here on the other side here. They're going to pop their quick movement. They're going to try and get on out of here, trying to alleviate the pressure from the opponents. This is a good spot. This is a clean area. Good rotate.
Nice. And it costs what? Like 1 just speedy splash, and at the same time a few mats. That was very, very well adjusted. In 1 second, it might even be super good if the zone bounces towards the top left. It goes straight to the right where no one is, so everyone literally has to move. And it looks like CFN, they're going for a huge unorthodox tarp this early, held up by just basically 1 layer, but it connects. It's looking good, and now they got control.
Ends up playing out, I guess, and them connected to old base. So there you have it. Big mat investment here for them to play for the high ground. Let's see if this plan's going to work out, though. How sound is it?
Well, they did it early, and all the hard mats are already locked down, so they have a huge foundation. Hits get a little bit of a bot while flying, and at the same time, they have to kind of level up their base so no launch pads can really step on. And there's still people shooting all the way backside from the zone, but lots of people left early. On the bottom right, congestion as finally a pad goes through, but multiple duels are still lost in the storm. Everyone's catching up, but they're slightly delayed. Now the front of the zone's really getting built up, and there's a little bit of a fight for height.
Yeah, players lost in the backside were Snowy, Scav, Flight,
Oh, no.
amongst the rest there. So big names that had potential crossed out of the competition here for game number 4. As things are really starting to hook up right now. Let's see it though. Zigzag Zoe with 11 HP finally pauses to get some heals on. He's got plenty of time between himself and space with the new zone for Dis. Up top, they've already used about 3 of their splashes, so they basically have access to perma speed here in the end game. And even CFN has extra heals as well. They're going to continue to make sure they continue to splash their way through to have that additional movement speed right now and the space between them and the rest of the players there. Tokyo gets burned there. A team's going to come on up. But remember, they have all the advantage. Derpy is going to be the one who finds Edge there.
It'll be huge for him to move, but finding Edge costs him Dylan. And remember, these guys were like 8th place. They're going to see what they could do next. I think that's his teammate, but there's no chance he's going to be able to pick him up here. Snow's going to be moving too fast. Waits for him to go down and get a few more mats, which is layers. Has so much potential to win out here. After breaking this wall, you can just use his own builds. Has about 1,000 to roll with, but still, there's so much you can just recycle in front of them. Chooses to stay up just a little bit. Lots of potential, and it looks like Tokyo actually takes out CFN, who had the high ground. The first place team now has a pedestal to win a game.
Definitely, and with Edge and Sujay out of the game, that opens up that 2nd place position now for other teams like Derpy to hop on up. Can he continue to find more? He can, but no, he gets taken out there before the top 10. That's going to be a huge fall for him. Duke on the other side, though. He's got that blue charged shotgun. That's going to be very, very scary here. Big threat lingering nearby, but no, players hop into the zone. That was aggressive. That's from South. and he's going to end up working his way through it. But can he find his way out the zone? Yes, he's going to have enough material, but it's going to be close here nonetheless. Zigzag on the other side, though. Trying to get his teammate, and that's enemies. He's blocked off.
Oh man, Zigzag Zoe trying to play some tic-tac-toe all the way on the low ground, but it's not going to be possible. He's going to be seeing X's and O's now as he goes straight down to the ground. Bolt Dade still alive for the moment, but it's Tokyo by himself, a solo in the top 7. I mean, already 30 points plus of placement monster, and it looks like he's only going to get more.
Yeah, and at this point, with him being in the #1 seat already, 8 eliminations, high ground, and a guaranteed end game placement once again here. Can he clutch this too? If he does, I think that's the icing on the cake here. We should be seeing him in some kind of spot amongst the top 3. He's still going. Make it 9 elims for a total. And Tokyo is on fire, playing his heart out here.
This is just crazy in terms of dominating the competition, putting a gap between you and every other team below you. These guys just seem like they're on a completely different caliber. And right now it's just Tokyo by himself. He has enough, firepower to mimic not one, but even 2 duos just raining bullets down on low ground.
Let's watch it play out here. Speedy's going to leave himself exposed there. Quick 72 tag that comes through. Top 4 already granted to Tokyo on height here. Few more players left here. 1 solo, 2 duos. That's Diddy. Oh no, he just needed a single tag there. Couldn't get it. But all he has to do is keep these shots coming through, and it should be his game here to at least get that 2nd place, which is a big difference maker.
Absolutely. You want to make sure you confirm top 3. It's not only just the win that Tokyo should be taking away today. It's top 3 qualifying all the way towards the very end in terms of Code Red. Oh, tournament happening soon. Big shot from Ross though. Nice. And now looks like still 3 teams left. A little bit of a duo and then 2 solos. Moni might be healing all the way through and actually takes out Tokyo up top. That might be the difference maker in 2 more games in terms of having a victory royale or not. But what a good performance. A good clutch from Moni in that 4th game.
Moni and Dade pick up 6 apiece there, and all of a sudden they have themselves a nice little 12 elimination victory royale. That coupled with the fact that it's a 41-point win, that's a huge game for them to hop on up, Shayo. But that 1st place spot is starting to slip away from everyone, I think.
Yeah, no matter how big your swing is, if you don't stop the momentum for 1st place for the team ahead of you, then I mean, you're just kind of chasing their after shadow over and over again, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the momentum is there, right? Ethan and crew, they haven't stopped taking top positions there. Victor Royale in just a couple top ending placement spots. And I mean, listen, they're on their way to a near perfect finish right now. Just start flying through the highlights here to give us a real look at what all unfolded in that last game. Snowy and Scav are on one here, but I think their end of the run has come as they fell a little too early, just inside the top 15 there on that final zone move, which is super unfortunate. Here's a play I was hoping we'd catch the initial perspective of the ghost play into the box, the shadow phase there. Such a flashy move. That feels good.
Absolutely. This entire end game was a super feels good. That early one, I mean, we saw a little bit earlier, but dominated by Busa and his teammate, just absolutely wrecking team after team. Alderpy got, a little bit of that shot on in the mid ground. That was the moment that height actually switched hands. So all the way from top 10, you got Tokyo all the way to 2nd place overall. He just held that spot, soaked up all the pressure, and looked real good doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Defying Diddy. Make it all the way through to the end. The 3rd place, 4th for them. Here's the perspective of Ross, as we knew he made it all the way through in the gunfight. Toe-to-toe. Moni picks up that 6th elimination, making it 12. Well-rounded, tight finish for them. But again, the story, I think, is of Ethan and Tokyo there, who continue to impress us, holding on to their 1st place spot.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly where they're going to be in just a little bit. We'll catch you guys soon right after this break.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy battle here going down, because the fight for the $10,000 is real here, and of course that qualifying position up at the Code Red coming up soon. We just finished 4 great games here, Shayo, and I mean, it's getting very interesting. We're kind of seeing who's a cut above the rest, who's starting to run away with the pack leader here, right? Which is Ethan and Tokyo there up at the top. But for others, we saw Edge go down pretty early there. I think it's just inside the top 15 or so. So I do feel like second and third place are really going to have, I guess, a point gap up from the top.
Yeah, that game 4 was definitely like kind of a very palate cleanser, different type of taste overall. The, very much faster game. Lots of people going down earlier, and some of the top teams also not holding on to second and third. And it might just be a battle for second now. There might be $10,000 on the line, but those 3,000 might just be locked by Ethan and Tokyo. Second place, you're right, definitely up for grabs. I'm excited to see who can do it, because that's a much closer race.
Yeah, well, we do still have 2 games in front of us, so it's not completely set in stone just yet. But hey, just throwing the feelers out there. If you guys have been watching since the beginning, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These boys have been very, very consistent with making their end game placements, which, with the way the format works in general, that's really the way it's been staggering and favoring. So let's take a look at the leaderboard, though. Let's just go ahead and glance at that first page here, just to give you guys a feeler for where we are. 168 now. This is the biggest gap we've seen between first and second, between the rest of the competition so far. And look at that, they're starting to look real good up there.
Yeah, and every game we see Ethan and Tokyo, that's also Spence, by the way. Tokyo Spence on the leaderboard, at least. They're just, active and at the same time alive until top 15 at least every single game. So there's no way to interrupt them early game. A Monster broke down a amazing way. They're breaking down Pleasant Park and just, starving people for loot. So they have every portion of the game down, and we'll have to see exactly if anyone can stop them, because if there is a way to do it, it's early game.
Yeah, definitely. And their early game it's precise. I mean, they're looking very, very strong at their draw spot here. The games are just about to start getting geared up here. We're hopping into game number 5 of the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy here for Ethan, who's up top right now. They're coming in at a brand new and different angle, and this is what they do best here. They scout out the drop here, and they figure out who is landing. And it seems like those teams that were there before have decided, hey, we're going to give this up and no longer take the battle. Down low, though, Moni and Dade are going to fight for their early game position, and they end up winning that with just pure and raw gunfight there. As J-Man stands out in the open, that team did not stand a chance.
Their speed isn't just there all the way in late game. It starts off the drop as well. Now with 39 teams just left in tow, you'll see a little bit more, scrappy fights happening all across the map. Spies already going down to Figment as well, somewhere in the eastern portion at least of the Fortnite Island, and these guys will be ready to just loot up Holly so far. And Moni and Dade should be one of those teams in 2 games at least to make that jump, contend for maybe even third, second place. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, big hop-ups here. Can they continue to break into it? BSC Figment's going to go down to the young Defying there. Defying's really just been putting up some super impressive eliminations throughout the day. He's definitely got the gun power on his side. For Snowy and Scav, we're hoping to see them do better today, but still, there's prizing on the line here, potentially. Top 8 positions up to fight for. Meltor sitting in the tree right now. That's not a first shot accuracy weapon. It's not going to work out. SMG is going to really fall off at this range here.
Saw a little bit of tree action before in a previous game. That team did win. Please tell me you land in the river. Okay, yes. No fall damage taken there. Grandpa Skip taken down super early, and this is by Sujay rolling in. So that team, Sujay and Edge, they're still ready to go after a little bit of an earlier loss last game.
Yeah, they still have a game to fight for here. CFN and Dis on the other side. It's a team that was battling for the high ground, playing the weather station right now, where the Caddy's Corner pushing in aggressively towards the opponents that moved on up, migrated to the weather station. It seems like they've really been feeling it right now, getting back into their rotation here. Peter and Monkey, John Cena, trying to figure this one out here. So another fight for them. They haven't caught a break today in their early game.
On a little bit of time to make room for their own breaks, but looks like Peter will pick up one for now. Exemplified, new opponents, not the same caliber as the ones before to be able to fight this time. And Tina's going for the beast control. Another shark in the bay. Definned, deskinned. Mr. Cena's got an elimination on the board.
There it is. And the Siphon reveals that he had 1 HP, so that was pretty close. Back and forth for him. CFN on the other side going for the peaks here. No mats, though. Just trying to play off of whatever he can here. That was a successful knock, it looks like, from the side jump. And Dis following up here. They found the opponent. He's going to walk his way through there. It's all over. It's all she wrote. Nick's going to fall. That's 2 eliminations for CFN and Dis. They're back in the running right now. Over to Scav, who's lost his teammate. Not sure what's happening today, but can they get their final highlights before this weekend competition's over? Big shot there onto both sides, and Scav's not going to have enough. He gets taken out.
Unfortunate. Super unfortunate, especially just being first overall coming into things today. You can clearly see just the caliber of competition, the seriousness with the prize pool on the line. When you're right here and really looking for results, that's where a few teams can crumble completely while others rise all the way towards the top. Nirmacy in flight as well. Saw some of the best rotations from these guys in games 2 and 3. In game 4, that was the issue with them overall. For Harsh and Control as well, they're always alive side by side, just popping off in the best, most chemistry type ways with each other. But last 2 games has been solos. Either it's Harsh alive and by himself like it is right now, or Control, which is what happened last game.
Yep, got a man down here. Flight looking for the side angle right now. Let's see it. Nirmacy and Flight working together in the same box. A double peek comes through. Harsh is quick though. And this is why we give him a lot of favoritism when it comes down to some of the calls here. But even him, even as skilled as he is, it's a 2v1 situation. We've seen what Flight can do. There comes the Control. There goes the Coney. It's great tags. It's not going to be enough. And this is on retail row now. So 4 elims for Flight and Nirmacy. They're just stomping through teams and rotating their way up to drops.
Complete control with the cone too. That was nasty. Now Sweetie. Mika, I mean, I think we've seen these guys be taken out almost every game. This is a chance for redemption. You can still really clap back in games 5 and 6 if you have a very good performance. And, anyone can really hit that top 3 with enough elims in these games.
On defense right now. Mike is trying to come over to his teammate to back him up. Shots are still rolling. No. In the feed, big names. Tokyo's going to find one. Ethan's going to find one. These are elim leaders. Game point leaders in general. Earning more. What can Sweetie do here? Almost caught in the cone here. He's going to play defensively now. Tries to catch the opponent. That's not going to work. Here comes a quick reset. Ooh, grabbed him. Done.
Too fast, too furious from Sweetie right now, and Mika has his back on the left side. That was the issue for this team over and over. Even if they got a pick, if there was a flank available, that's where the damage would come through. Mika's kind of gotten used to things now. Blocks it off, does the damage, gets the elim. Both players now working in tandem. Can they continue to as this game gets harder?
I think they have the chemistry. Micah was the one putting the gunfire down. Sweetie was just holding mats for the piece control there. Trying to give him as much success as possible to just catch the opponents here. I did watch Dizrod get knocked earlier, so the fact that he's been picked up means that Felix is playing really well right now, but that build's on fire. It's not going to last very long, and he's going to go and disconnect from it. Find himself some new territory to play off of. Side angle, and he's going to find cut with the blind fire through the build. There goes one. Camarino knocks Diz for the 2nd time in the same game. Love what Dizrod attempts here.
Oh my
so Felix
God.
starts to grab him. Another great tag and beautifully done for Felix. He tried to pull Dizrod out with the harpoon. That was quick.
That was fast. And, when that didn't work out instantly, wall cone blocked off any chance his opponent had it even taken a shot. Felix is just literally light speed right now. And another cone comes in. The cone control is insane from every player we're watching right now. BCR Ninja Mint looking to block off Salfarez as he moves away. A big shot, 49 white damage, and straight into the box. There's nowhere for Salfarez to go. He'll look for the next shot, and it's going to be an easy wrap-up.
We're really watching the growth and development of Fortnite kind of play out here.
Right?
This is the baseline for competitive Fortnite. You just got to have everything, or it's not going to work out.
This is the one situation that you haven't seen super fixed, and it'll happen again. Cranberries, Fennec just caught apart, both in separate 1v1s. Their split just might be a little bit too massive on the map. And as a result, they've gone in the last 3 games as solos. It'll happen again in game 5, maybe be fixed for game 6, but this is all good practice for those teams who are kind of like in the top 20, top 30 to fix up their game, then try again next time, if and when there is another type of, autumn anarchy on the horizon.
You heard the man, Xfinity. Make it happen. Let's see it though. Micah and Sweetie just getting active here. Okay, so they get themselves obviously that last team wipe, and now they're coming in for another one. They got to be careful though. Felix and Dizrod on the edge here. They can definitely hear these shots. They're absolutely close enough for this. Defying and Diddy moving through the vehicle here. That's going to bring all the rest of the attention that they're going to need. There's plenty of teams in this general area. They get away though from Micah's grip. And here comes the cleanup process here. What can they find? What can they take as they try to head on to the new zone?
They'll salvage things. Very good at operating on edge. Once they get to the center, it's dangerous. Jacob Schur with a Hail Mary pump shot. Lands for 19 damage. But he has no other option. The man's entire inventory is heals.
Big heals indeed. No follow-up. Let's see. I don't think I've ever actually seen this in a tournament, at least one that I've been able to comment over. So, first time for lots of things, and this is one of them. And again, I feel like it's always the rare situation where you're behind an opponent, you're like, I don't have an AR. This never happens. You get the clean shot like that too. It's unfortunate. Pump only, and GG gets tagged up big time here.
Just boost with the aggression as well, but when it's the left-hand peak, it's not the best one to take. That's a square fish. Looks like a shadow fish, maybe?
Oh, it might be a shadow fish, yeah. I was gonna say, what can we do with that? Hold up.
Hey, listen, the pump tech works. I mean, the only time I've ever seen it roll through is end game by accident, when the player drops a weapon and for a heal, now just has a pump. But Jacob Schur looking to do things now as the AR with another pump upgrade, and doesn't even use the pump. That's a mistake. Oh no.
Can't be missing shots like that. GG's though, he's got a lot working for him as far as heals go, so he's gonna have the time to really extend here. Misses the chug splashes as well. He could have min-maxed there by healing up and then going for this heal, but time is of the essence here. They got to get a move on, so he's gonna definitely have time to get the pick up and make it to the new zone, but it's gonna be close. They're definitely cutting it close as far as HP in general goes. For Sweetie and Micah, they've made their pretty smooth rotate up to the north, sitting inside enemy builds, just trying to lurk something out here. Ethan and Tokyo, they're feeling it at this point. I think they understand the situation they're in, right? Big lead, first place.
See, the thing is though, is that like they're not slowing down, right? Like some teams, when they're in this position, get kind of cocky. They end up, playing a little bit more aggressive, doing things that they wouldn't do, taking the L on the entire server. But like these guys, they're still honed in. They're focused. They're ready to keep going and lap the entire competition.
Yeah, definitely. Even they're stopping to pause up, get their material to max. Fundamentals at play for Antics and Pineapple. They're vibing out right now. Believer Beach is going to be the home of this team. And Edge and Sujay, the once second place holders, who have now given up their position. They've slipped down a fair amount. They're down in top 7 right now. Let me just double check. I'm going to refresh the standings. Yes, that is definitely a top 7 at 101. Only 6 points separate them up to top 4 before they get to fight for top 3 at 9 points away. So our top 10 is extremely close as far as what's on the line here, which is making it to code red. You need to be in that 3rd place spot, or else that's it. Dreams and hopes are over.
Still got to walk away a little reprising, but you definitely want to be there on the big stage. A lot of different creators going to be involved as well, so that's what everyone's shooting for. Felix and Dizrod, they have the potential, but these next 2 games have to be more than perfect.
Holiday money on the line here. 10K for the fight. What can Felix and Dizrod do? Can they come back? Felix already clutched up this game twice now. Edge on the other side with Sujay. This is that 9 points And we're talking about that difference maker, but no Edge gets third-partied here, and that's big pressure coming through. And that's Water Blanket, who is also inside the top 10. So a little bit of blood in the water here. The hunt is real, but things are going to slow down now. Luckily for Edge here, it could have been their game. And Sujay is not too healthy either. So both sides not getting very lucky with that fight.
A little bit of a piss stops, but even if you're getting unlucky for Edge here, you have so many heals to be able to get right back up. It's all good. Usually got the Shadowfish for the rotation as well later on, but right now they look like they want to get their metal up or something all the way over on the backside of the pier. Might just be a link up spot. Just waiting for the rest of the game to start. 23 teams. Once again, this might be the lightest game from this perspective that we're watching, but that means that any mistake you make will be seen by more people. If you get beamed, getting lobby focused is a lot easier. There's always different challenges to games with less players compared to games with more.
Population surely plays a factor in the way the quality of your run is going to go. For Sujay and Edge here, they're looking to take the bull by the horns. They're taking the vehicle right through the chaos here. You have to be careful. They're cutting past with a lot of great players here. Ooh, and this is a great spot to be in. They're underneath basically an indestructible location and tons of brick to play off of here. They should be able to effectively max out a material back and truly be in the running here. There it is.
I've seen, though, that this team specifically, in positions like this, they survive. It's fine. It's very hard for them to gather info on everyone else. The matches we've seen them do really well, get, you know, all the way up to second, first, and have a good chance at getting big placement. They're up high. They have a little bit of an investment, and they get to map out a game plan around this zone. So maybe if, you know, they don't super tunnel vision on just getting mats and just do what they do right now, edit these walls, look at who's going on around them, it's going to be fine for them. But if they slip up, close their eyes for even a few seconds to take a nap, it might be over.
Could be all over before it begins for some. Duke and Hit still on the run right here. They were actually sneaking up, creeping up for the high ground here, and they're contemplating whether or not it was worth it. Oh, gotta be careful now. That'll send you flying. And Hits doesn't even opt in to hit the wind tunnel to go in and go back down. Instead, he's going to go all the way through. This is a risk in its own, but it's going to work out for him. Quick and easy. They touch down. They're having trouble just even reading the map right now. Yeah, there it is.
Are they better or worse from where they actually left from? I'm so confused.
They got lost in translation. It just did not go the way they expect. This is still a risk for them. They're trying to bounce now again here. Not worth. Not
Round
worth.
two.
Okay, no, never mind.
Okay. They just end up running straight by.
He figured it out. Now they have a good grip on the map, but you could tell for a second there they were super lost. Hits was like circling, trying to figure out, okay, where's the direction I need to be heading in?
Hits needs to focus more so on these shots because his name is just so good right now. 2 or 3 shots back to back, almost to the head. Tracks players out of the air too. Can't really connect anything, but you know, the passion, the thought of it was just really good. It was still there. So this is actually Mellow and Frosty. It seems like that makes a lot more sense, as I haven't seen Chief on the leaderboard update at all just yet. From 2nd to 9th to 4th, and now I believe all the way closer towards that top spot again. This is going to be a big game for them. If they end up winning this, they have like at least 5-6 elims. That should be second place.
That's a fighter's chance. It's a real fighter's chance. I think all the teams inside the top 10, like we mentioned, the point threshold is very, very close here. So this is a truly competitive lobby for those second and third spots as it stands at the moment. Surely for top 8, without a doubt. Disrupt's going to get knocked by Sujay there. And Felix goes down. That's the full finish. Sujay with the double up and the closer. Well played. And the lobby has been cut, sliced in half here from 60 down to 37 pretty quickly over the last zone or two. As now we finally get to the half in, half out. What side's going to pull here? That's a West pull. Not bad for the majority of the lobby, but still going to be tough because we have this ending on a lake house here. So just weird terrain in general right now.
It's going to be things that people are used to with the terrain, but at the same time slightly changed because of the lake house, like you mentioned. So yeah, anyone coming in early might be in for a rude awakening. The mid ground should operate almost the same. Zamster and Meltor haven't really seen this POV just yet, but their mind are in the right places in terms of what they need to do right now. But the priority is, and that's looking for harpoon opportunities, look for any beam opportunities to just drop down some pressure. And that only lasts for a little bit because now they need to look to just defend like Edge and Sujay are. Find a good portion of your base. You'll have the majority of the lobby flying into the circle, into your zone now. And you want to make sure no one gets in uninvited.
There it is, Duke and hits. We've seen this play before here where they try to get to the front of the zone. Will they get a little more aggressive this time for the height? No. Instead, they're going to play the true and trusted low ground position here. But enemies are here, lurking nearby. This is not a free spot by any means. They're trying to catch someone off guard. Almost works, but that metal was a little too healthy there. They grab the wall instead, and it's all theirs. Back to the zone focus they go.
Big fire for them right now. Yeah, that's what they need to do. Just clear that bush for a sec. Make sure every single contingency is just in play for your team. Moni and Dade will be the ones to just be on height, control everything for the moment. And wow, Moni's inventory in terms of heals, I mean, this is kind of what you want at this moment. Fast popping shields and lots of chances to just quick heal and move.
It's what we're going to pretty much expect to see against the highest caliber of play. This is essentially a meta loadout if you've ever seen one. Yeah, look at that. Make it on the other side as well. So they have the heal off potential here. Everything to set themselves up for a win condition. Love the pause here. Just to go ahead and try to tag him up. He's got to be quick, though. You don't want to lose the launch pad either. Risk versus reward here. This is a very, very smart play to try to back up his teammate. Doesn't look like it's going to work out, though. So the information he gathers is going to be crucial because they're probably going to go ahead for the retake on height here soon. Let's see if they can time it effectively right now.
So that pause came through, then he had to wait even more for other patterns to be in the air so he would actually go by unnoticed. They will be able to link up with Modi again and find each other, play as a team. They're both in the same layer. Looks like Moni's actually pushing all the way towards the north side of the zone. And Nolo's into the one all the way on height. Water Blanket actually tarping all the way out in front. But this tarp, it looks like an opportunity for Dade and Moni to look up and maybe go for some shots. They like to actually keep it consistent. Stay down on low. Utilize these quick heals. Go for scrappy fights and get out alive.
Look at that. Tokyo's going to find Edge there. That's a big, big knock, guys. Edge is down, and again, we talked about how much they needed here in this game. So is his teammate up? Will there be more points to earn for that duo there? We'll find out here shortly as Moni and Dade continuing to do very, very well here by reading the zone, playing the front and dead side of the low ground. That's, again, the new type of strategy most teams like to play in the low here. It's about as good as having height for free, to be honest.
You're just kind of limited in terms of where you can really look for eliminations. Still, you got to remember, it's all about placement, and Mars now with 10 HP needs to get a siphon so dearly. He cannot touch the zone. If he does, he's going to be going down, and he's in front of a big hill with builds that aren't his. This is the worst combination, and he just passed by some chunk splashes. Not going to be able to pick those up as they fall down the hill. He uses his feet and just goes by fast. Complete piece control the whole way through. Big shot up in front of him too, but can't really connect for something huge. Still on 10 HP, on the brink of getting eliminated, and somehow he's still alive.
Keeping his calm, cool, collected composure right now. Well played for him. 5 elims for this team, and now inside the top 10 here for Mars and 7. What can he do with this? I hear players just above him to his right. He knows he's looking for the edit there. Oh no, that's Tokyo and company. You don't want that action. He's going to start looking down now. But the question is, where are you going to go here? Trying to find some loot.
It's going to be tough. Has the harpoon to use as well as he moves. Top 7 situation. Rostel churning as well. Finds his teammate. Power in 2s. That's kind of what you want to abuse at this moment. Nermacy finally going down to Chief, and Mello picking up flight. They're really pushing the boundaries of what it means to be in 4th place, looking to get all the way to 2nd. Ross actually lets Kinney break him down. They're not going to get hunted just yet. There are about 3 other duos you don't know much about for the moment. and possibly a few solos in the fray as well. Low ground is free. Ross and Kenny end up picking it up. They're gonna get a little bit of pressure, and Moni's on their builds. They're not leaving them, and now there's nowhere to run or hide. They'll have to take this fight on head-to-head. Ross, Kenny both taking damage. Kenny going down, and Moni picks it up. Chief versus and Mellow, they're both all the way up top as well on height. They got control. Low has control now. It's mid-ground that's in trouble.
Definitely, Amoni and Dade with that big end game there too, so they make another round here, but Tokyo is the man who's still up. He's in the zone here trying to clutch up. He's gonna pretty much play grief onto Dade there, probably throwing away their position, their opportunity to take home a dub here. But for Chief and Speedy, this is gonna toss them right back into the competition here. It should be all but over now for everyone up here inside the zone. It's not looking too hot for Moni. Clock's ticking though. There it is. One more tick. Oh, he heals himself. All right. He's not giving it up. Not for free, at least. He wants to go all the way to the end here. For guts, for glory. 4 HP. Low ground. Down with the flash shot. And Speedy hits it there. GG's.
Mellow mid-air, wrapping it up and finally putting a win under that belt with Chief Peace, aka Frosty. I want to see exactly how that affects things. That's a lot of top 4, top 10 teams in the Mixed Monster in the end game, looking at big swings and placement points.
Yeah, definitely. The placement points are going to shake up here. I mean, yeah, once they get distributed, but again, Tokyo's in the end game, so they're on the rocket ship right now. These guys are taking off here, so it's really getting interesting. As we start approaching our final game here, it looks like we are getting a fair shake up and look at who's going to be taking home the big prizing here as far as the 10K that's offering up to the players. And then Dade and Moni, right? Like that was a big game for them, and they put a lot of work in, right? They actually fought for that victory, and then they fought their way up to the top there too. So all around impressive play. That's a highlight they can be proud of.
Yeah, it always seemed like in the previous games they were like an inch away from greatness. They really pushed for it this time. They really fought for it, like you mentioned, and it went well. You also said, Monster, earlier on in the game, there's like, it seems everyone right now, we're kind of watching the improvement of some of the future players from Fortnite. You know, everyone's just playing so much better. They're learning moment after moment. Boost is getting more aggressive. GG's finally waking up, like you can see on screen right now. Meanwhile, though, you're also right. Ethan and Tokyo, they are on a rocket ship, and they're going to a planet of their own.
Yeah, they're definitely on one. Mars and 7 here. Oh my gosh, big plays across the board. Mars could have been by himself with no backup there. Big clutch up there. Here's a couple shots and takes we didn't really even get to see there. Speedy Mellows, full commit at the end there onto Moni. Beautiful play there to wrap things up and take home that victory. First of the day for them too.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see exactly how things break down for not only Mellow, Frosty, but everyone inside that top 10. That'll take a bit of a moment though, guys. We got one more game ready for you where anything could change, but I think first place. Take a seat, get ready. We'll be back right after this.
When inspiration strikes during midterms, you need Xfinity Internet. Fuel your passions with speeds fast enough to power all you do. Get inspired with awesome offers exclusively for students.
An unbelievable connection. It's unbelievable speeds. Can your internet do that?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy Tournament featuring Fortnite here. It's your boys, Monster D-Face and Shia Wager on the horn right now, calling all the action. Game number 6 is just about to be underway here. We've had a very interesting set of games so far. Things started off very close, neck and neck for the players, but after the halfway mark, I think the stamina for our other teams started to wear thin.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a difference for different types of teams. The bottom 20 are trying different things in terms of being aggressive. Some of those top teams are wavering, but there's a lot of learning going on, which is what I like the most.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw teams try to contest their number 1 squad in the past and lose that one, then give up the drop too. So teams are really trying to figure it out right now, find their footing here on the map, because it's getting closer and closer. Obviously, we have the standings too. How these games is just basically developing. There it is. They're going to roll on out. Ethan and Spence, they're off there. I'm pretty sure they're locked in at this point. Moni and Dade with a ridiculous game in that final one right there. Coming from the low ground, figuring it out, making it all connect there. And Mel and Frosty, look at them sneaking on up here, staying consistent right now.
And they were almost out of the top 10 entirely. Now they're just kind of locked in third. Kenny and Ross as well, used to be inside the top 5. They were kind of struggling in and out, but seem to have their foothold there. If somehow Ethan and Spence drop off the battle bus and get insta-eliminated, and then Moni and Dade win with an insane amount of elims, that is the only 1 out of 10 billion timeline possibilities I can see for them actually winning. But so far, 5 out of 5 games, Ethan, Spence, Ethan, Tokyo, however you want to spin it, they have been in every single end game, in every single top 5.
Defying, Diddy, also playing out of their minds right now. They're going to go on and creep on up to 121, so they have a true fighter's chance here for top 3 as well. These are the teams really got to keep your eye on, though. Edge here and Sujay, right? They've been playing really well. Derpy and Dylan are still in the hang here, and Drakey and Dustin too, right? Dodie and Prem are just nearby, so all these guys, you've seen plenty of highlights with them, right? If you go to those replay packages, I mean, they're littered all in between. They're making end games. These are teams that have been consistent so far. One drop game is really what separates them from, I'd say, the top 3, and then obviously what separates the number 1 and 2 slots is that they've been relatively consistent and have made a very effective use out of their end games every single time.
No, absolutely. And I just want to hop on what you said about Edge and Sujay. Not only are they, just the team to watch in terms of that page and been doing so good, it feels like they are the team that always affects people no matter what, even if they get no points in the game, right? If they make a little bit of that mid game, they don't get the top 6 upper echelon of placement points, they affect height, they affect some of those mid-ground teams heavily. They're always a team that's hunting everyone else, and they have some of the best strategies to watch that are all active and aggressive. So I'm hyped to see what they bring for game 6.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is the story here that's going to be told. Who will walk away with, I think it's $3,000 in first, $2,000 for second, about $1,000 for that 3rd place spot, all of which is great money, especially leading into the holiday season. We have October, November, and December, most festive time of the year coming up just in front of us. So yeah, it's a good time to win some prizing, good time to win some good cash money on the new season. Not only that, see yourself to the final stage of the Code Red tournament that's coming up, with other pro names to be pretty sure announced here soon. So yeah, it's only going to get better from here. And with the last game and the pressure on him, I mean, you talked about it, Edge excuse me, Ethan and Spence here, Tokyo, they have to win the drop, and they just got to walk away pretty much successful at that point and earn themselves a couple points, and that 1st place spot should be all theirs.
Yeah, they could honestly jump out of the bus and glide the whole time, but let's see exactly what actually ends up happening, what breaks down in the final game of the night. Game number 6 for Xfinity's Autumn Anarchy is upon us. Let's hold on to leads and climb up the ladder to see who can come top 3.
Pleasant Park looks to be contested right here, right now. Ethan's going to land dead center into the soccer field, try to get a weapon out the gate. They have control of the modern house in the middle of the field, and they're going to cut off the opponent. Who's this here? This is Splash on the other side of the wall. He's not going to have much, and this is just feeding them at this point. They should be able to pick up these elims right here. Once that tree goes down, he's going to be completely exposed. Down he goes. That's 1 down, and this is why they are the kings at the moment of the Pleasant Park here.
It's like before we saw them, split apart and doing crazy things with pressure earlier on. Now it's just the most basic type of duo pressure they're putting down, just signaling people apart, not having any chances for people to respond back. It's huge. Prem and Dodie as well, this is their climb up. They're very close to everyone else around them. It's like a 10-point gap between them and teams ahead who are all tied, so every elim for them matters.
Big elims there too onto Dizrod. Tokyo is going to go and finish up Despy there. So that's it. Pleasant Park successful for our #1 team, and that might just be enough points to go ahead and seal the deal there, to be honest. For Premondodia, though, 4-point swing for them. Again, these elims matter. They're very much in the fight here. They're our top 10 team, but 4 more points basically out the gate here puts them up just outside the top 8. So again, these are huge strides for teams that absolutely need these points right now if they want to, one, earn cash for top 8, but more importantly, get top 3 here tonight.
That means that no matter if you're 10th at the moment or even all the way in 3rd, the pressure's kind of a little bit of the same. And for Adopted Cake, Water Blanket, kind of towards that top 10 earlier on in the competition, now this will be a chance to really practice this drop against teams that have a lot on the line. Maybe they can push all the way forward before they're with the aggressors. How do they play on defense? We'll find out in a bit, because Edge and Sujay, they're in a fight that's going straight to the skies.
It's going all the way up here. Now it's coming on down. Harsh is lit. Very lit here. Here comes the 2-angled approach. They're going to work with one another right now. They go back up to the top. Sujay waits from the side here into the box. He goes down first. Edge is going to follow up here. 1 down. It's chaos in the box, and it's not going to be enough here. Harsh was just a little bit better there. Harsh in control, end up winning it out. 5 HP on control. They couldn't even get a knock. And just like that, Shayo, one team is down and out of their opportunity for top 8.
We're tied with Defying and very close to UAH for the moment moving in. So it's just one peg a little bit, you know, affected in the race. There's still so much threat available. What a run they've had today, affecting so many different teams' stories. Now we'll see Nervously in flight, fighting for their chance to kind of stay inside this competition. Rito Rose, where they've gone down before, had a few wins. It'll be up against Ninjaman and BCR. We know that these guys are absolutely lethal, and looks like BCR is going in with a huge flank, but it's cost Ninjaman so much of his HP bar already, and Flight might see it coming. He does. Instantly responds, blocks off instead of taking a shot. A big change from earlier games and a huge edit.
Oh my
175.
gosh.
5 games of learning from this exact engagement, and finally, Flight has the perfect answer.
Laying down the work right there. Huge pump shot. Way to make it all work out here. But there's still one more player left here to complete the puzzle. They have to hunt him down. They're going to go ahead and go for it. This man's on the run here. Big shots here by Pump. Second guessing the push now at this point, whether or not they want to go in and double back here, play for the loot. Nanolo on the other side of Craggy Cliffs here has got another team duo rolling up now, trying to put their position inside the mix here. Oh no. Distracted by the crow. That's a bad omen.
Definitely is. Camarino's going to try to do something to relieve a little bit of pressure on this top side. It's bogged down, though. It's bogged down, though. Remember, they were starting all the way at Caddy and now finding themselves in Craggy. Just switching up a few of those consonants inside the name, but the result will be the same. It's going to be defense, disengagement, and no, you know, just a lack of control entirely. It's just tough for this duo.
It's going to be really close here. Camarino on the low ground. Now swinging back out, trying to see if he get these shots here. Oh, no. No, he's upset. That's a white tag. No mats in him. The strafe comes through. It's not going to be enough. Oh, and the launch pad. This is the full commit right now. And this lobby's just cutting down. It's wearing thin here. This is going to be a quick game for the majority of the players in here before things are going to really pump down. Water Blanket, I mean, it means a little more for him, right? This is a team that realistically has a shot at least of making some cash tonight. If I'm not mistaken, they were somewhere up there. Maybe they slipped out after a couple rounds, but still, they're trying to play it all the way through.
Cut is flying close and then beaming hard, and that boat has lost its engine. They look to finish off the job. It doesn't look like there's any mats for water. He's got a loss of safety blanket, and now one more shot will take him out the angle to be able to swim all the way out to open sea. That'll be it. He's done, knocked out for the count, and their story ends in the ocean.
That's how quickly things can change here on the stage. Camarino and Cut, though. 2 elims now back over Chief and Mellow here. The speedy man up against Dr. Duke and Hits. Duke and Hits have made every single end game that we've watched so far. For the most part, they've been fairly successful, as have Chief and Mello. Loads of appearances, and you can see this fight's going back and forth here. No clear winners, not just yet.
Damage done on the Mello, though. Lots of damage done on the Mello, though. Hits is now inside the box.
Ooh, Ethan and Tokyo are here.
Okay, big third party. The upper echelon of the lobby is just ready here to play. Ethan Tokyo, they're treating it like an end game. They have high ground control. They got the damage down, and both duels are now splintered in half. One player left from each. There's no chance for survival against these Titans.
And there you have it. A team that could have fought their way up to top 8 there to make it inside the money is now officially out of the run. Ethan and Tokyo swinging back over. Harsh gets caught up here. Beautifully played. Yeah, these guys are just better right now.
Oh my God.
I want to see what they can do next week. I want to see what they can do in Code Red at this point. They've earned their spot. No doubt about it. They can bring this confidence to the final stage. That'll be the difference right there. Whether or not they can put up the big numbers.
They've derailed so many people who were about to try to go for second right behind them, about to try to go for the top 3. Their results now are kind of up in the air. Any possibility of things could just happen in a matter of moments. Tokyo and Ethan, though, went from basically kings to kind of jesters pulling a prank on the whole lobby.
Control here. Quick little split. Just trying to decide as to whether or not they want to fully commit here. They're going to play the gunplay all the way through. Starting to run low on material, or ammo and material, honestly. Still have to make a decision here. They can still make money here. They can still do something with this game. He's thinking about it. Okay. Nice little find there.
That's just popping off, getting a few elims overall. This is something Harsh and Control used to do a lot before when they had room. Is just spread apart, beam, and trade ammo for enemy mats. But without finding anyone down below and this fight being so big, I don't think this, foolproof strategy is really the way to move forward.
Harsh, though. Looking for these angles. They're just committed at this point, but this is going to raise awareness to the rest of the lobby, guys. They're at that outer edge here. This is where the zone's pulling. It's going far northeast. That was my initial prediction when you asked me, Shio, in game 1, where did I think the zones are going to start favoring. So looks like things are going to come full circle at least once for the last zone, for the last game of the day. Game number 6.
It'll be the last one and the fastest one, too. 21 teams, 40 players, everyone giving it their all. With utmost aggression, Control Harsh still not leaving here. They want to make Ethan pay for, I think, multiple different games of being bullied, being pushed aside, and just getting their wins stolen. This duo is just historically so good and played really well in Autumn Anarchy. Might have missed the mark here today, but we still see some great things from them in terms of action. There's some cool endgame rotations. They have so many builds to break to even get close to landing one pump shot from the King duo down below.
I love how the realization sets in for Ethan and Tokyo. Like, if we go down, maybe we don't win all the money tonight, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just stay alive. Let's just hang out, dude.
It's $1,000 difference, right? You want to make sure that
It's big.
you're staying the whole way up there.
Absolutely. And for that reason, they've officially tried to hunker down here, play the defensive role, and now look, desperation. They might just have to full send it with the speed buff here. All right, there it is. They pop it.
Ooh, but first shot hits the back of Ethan. Both him and Tokyo trade a little bit of shield for the freest retake I think I've ever seen. That's an NA West type beat. They just kind of jumped up and it worked.
I mean, the other team has no mats. Harsh and Control had like 8 mats when they were going down. I'm pretty sure they're on dead 0 right now. Yeah, look, now he's gonna jump in the car. They're like, oh wait, that was Mello. What was he doing under the build? Hello? Oh god.
Mello lived the whole time and then ran away. Hits his back apparently with a big reboot and saves Duke. John Cena taken out again.
I can't take that name serious. It's just John Cena just out here right now. It's the furthest we've seen him though. He made it this far. Ooh, who they catch? Control's down. Harsh is all that remains here. He gets taken out too. Patience is going to be the key to this battle here. They take their time and it ends up all collapsing onto their lap here. My, what a messy, long, drawn-out fight that was. But ultimately, they still have enough to go in and make something big here. Hits is going to find Dieter there. That's the John Cena teammate. A full duo wrap for them.
7 takes out Antics. There's a team all the way at Castle inside the zone still, even though there's a free rotation on the left. So going to be interesting to see why that's happening. Then Kirk and Isolate, a team that also once again showed us a lot of cool things. Has very good potential in terms of in the future being one of the top teams in the collegiate scene. They're going to wrap up the day playing a little bit more passive and looking for even just a win.
You know what I just thought of?
Yeah.
One day when we're casting, I'm going to say a word, you're going to say a word, but we're going to make a whole sentence and do a whole cast. That make sense?
I'm down for that. I had that idea actually to go sentence for sentence at least to start off.
I want to go with this word for word.
Word for word? The full ping pong effect. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it's so sick. But all right, let's get back on the track here. Crip and Pluto. They're in this. This is about to be a zone fight, by the way. Minute and a half on the clock. They're outside the storm line here, and Dodie and Prem are just waiting, trying to wait this one out. Mind you, Dodie and Prem have so much more at stake here. Remember, they're up there. Top 10, and then he kicked it off at what? Those 2 eliminations that they're dropped. So there's that 4-point swing.
So many top teams have gone down, right? Between 1st and 10th. So definitely it'll be Pluto and Cryptic they're up against. And I don't know, man. This is game 6 zone fight. I've seen it before. It gets pretty freaky.
Yeah, it can, but again, 30 seconds till that zone starts to move, and they have the close side, so a little bit more, I guess, forgiveness, if you will, to play with here. And there's a couple campfires down in this area as well, so this general areas can work out if things get a little weird and they get held out here. But I mean, they're gonna have to commit at this point because Crip and crew are not really trying to give this one up right now. You can tell. Oh, very precious missed shots there from Prem, and he does it again, getting punished first here. It's only going to give more confidence to Crip here.
Triple move. Looks like Kirk actually ends up going down to Ethan, way out in the distance. I'm predicting Crip ends this one with a shotgun pump.
I think they're disengaged with a launch pad.
Okay, all right. I think they're going full Brazingo mode all the way down in. Okay, big shot. Nope. Another one catches his toes. Crip in trouble, and now I think they might disengage with it. Okay,
Oh,
hold on.
No. He couldn't even put it down. He couldn't even put it down.
Made a prediction. No.
Oh.
Okay. Rip him apart. Bramendonia forcibly keep the dream alive.
Listen, I just looked at the leaderboard, saw the point difference, said nope, they ain't making it. They're not making it. That's it. You don't make top 10 for no reason. These guys are holding it down right now. 4 eliminations now. And honestly, that could have been a lucky swing for them. These are points that they might just be needing to make the difference in the final stretch here. They also have the vehicle. They have the launch pad now, too, to make the big difference, to make it to the zone, to play out the rest of the zones there. CFN and Dis still in this one right now. No elims for them.
Yeah, these guys are fine diners. They like the high ground and the high ground only when it comes to endgame. Don't settle for less. And sometimes it does make it so that, you know, they end up going out a little bit earlier, trying to grief to take it. Other times we've seen them just, you know, take control of the whole lobby. So see what it is for game 6, especially with Coral Castle. No one wants to be on low ground. It is not a fun time. It's water everywhere or very weird lopsided beaches. So it's just not worth it.
Let's watch this. See what kind of absolute best play they can make in this kind of situation here. Just trying to look for the early edit here. 7 and Mars are ready. They're also fired up this round right now. 4 elims already, showing that they're definitely grooving for the last game right now. That's going to be a confidence at an all-time high. Cutting Camarino, though, at 7 elims. The slayers of the lobby. Ooh, into the box. Doesn't need a shotgun at all. The worst way to get taken out.
the third time Duke has gone down so far, I think. So Hits will have to go clutch again in the same game. I'm not sure whether or not just putting on the pressure. It's 2v1, guys.
Oh,
Push
he goes in.
That's why. Okay, they were waiting. These guys know something I don't, and they played it perfectly, I guess. Let's go.
Oh, man. Big pumps right there from Cut. Oh, what's that? Almost 10 elims now for them. Yep, because the full finish has come on over. So huge swings here for 7 on the other side. Like we said, they have the confidence. You could tell. They're in the box here. Nice job on Diddy in the follow-up there. 7 making it look easy, but he's a man down now, and the full finish comes over. Those are enemy builds here. Wood wall behind him as well, and it's not going to stand a chance here. He gets focused out. 21 players left, 11 teams remaining here. The lobby's really starting to thin out now.
This is looking free for Ethan. I think these guys are still alive inside the game. Redemption arc for Cut. From Dodia looking to maybe even get that top 3. I think that is the team that really just put a focus down on, because they have one of the best chances to really push forward. Looking for other teams here. Not many are kind of on the same caliber. Duke's team, 17th place coming in. They got taken out just a bit ago. Lots of potential for other players to just have a good game overall, but for tournament run, it's just Ethan's world. We're really just living in his and Tokyo's game.
That's right. Isolate as a solo on the north side of the zone. Just trying to figure this one out here. See what kind of placement points he can steal away. BSC Figment's going to get taken out there. He gets knocked. I think it's the furthest placement we've seen him make. Not bad for a final game closeout. Who's going to be our top 3? Hard to tell. We're kind of lost in the story right now because of how many teams, how volatile it's been. We could potentially see a team that hasn't done really much today other than just cruise on through, snatch up a top 3 spot here.
That would be crazy because Moni's put in so much work. Even Mello, right? Frosty, they've been going good, and I saw him drive off, so I'm wondering exactly where he is. There is a chance, though. There's some of these teams that just played really consistently and just kind of hung out and said, you know, the top 5, the top 10.
Absolutely. Drakey out there, okay. Actually, A1 and Drakey might be the guys to look out for. Tokyo and Ethan, well, they have first place, guys. That's it. They're making this cash money today. Derpy and Dylan are still up too. This is a team that can definitely fight for that spot as well.
Now 118 points. They were about 40 points behind third, but Mello also made it into the game. It's a chance.
Talk about those teams we didn't really get to highlight today. Kinney V2 is absolutely one of them who's sitting up there somewhere in the standings. So here's a few players that can strike away right now. Top 8 for the cash, top 3 for the code red placement. Dylan and Derpy still up right now. 0 eliminations. They're really trying to play nice and safe right now. You can tell how close were they. Top 8 coming into it.
And I really got to keep an eye on then Kinney's team because they're in 5th overall. They're about 30 points away from being able to qual. And then Fabio and Victor Ali, I'm not sure if they're still alive in the game because there are 10 teams, but they were 4th effectively. They were even closer.
It's all going to come down to the eliminations at this point, and of course, who can outplace who. No way. Our opponent's some loot up. Nothing good's going to come out of it, but it was worth a try here. Here comes the launch pad play. High ground's got to be careful. At this point, will they just go down and allow someone to just, you know what I mean? Just fall
No.
or not?
Never.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
the
out the
difference, and
sky.
that's Dylan. No way.
Nothing's free here, not up top. You got to pay the price, and Ethan collects the toll. And you know, he's feeling it after that one. On top of the landing spot he goes. He tries to full commit, just barely misses the lip there. But the build-off happens, and the read is good. It's theirs again.
Tokyo pushes forward. They has at least half this duo. Just Tokyo has that spicy effect active, so he's fast. Now it actually fell down to Ethan as well, so both teammates going to be sped up. Both going to go through all their heals to make sure they have the firepower, the health available to stay alive all the way on height. Still, though, even with Derpy's knock and full finish, no duo has gone down just yet. Now, looks like Isolate gets taken out, the solo player all the way till here. And Dodia gets taken out by Derpy. make sure his dream still stays alive. It is the elims that matter right now. Every shot can change the destiny for each player in this tournament.
CFN still up, but he's going to start to slip through the builds. Here's the lobby. Starts to take its pressure. He still has a speed upgrade as well. He has that spicy splash there. Ethan in the box with CFN. They're going toe-to-toe here as this tries to step up, but Tokyo's there to back him up. CFN best in the one-on-one against Ethan there, and now it's up to Tokyo by himself. The Siphon, though, is going to be the difference maker here to keep him in the game with confidence. Now comes a swing around, and the effects of the speed starts to kick in. And there it is. It's all his here. Out comes the quick material split here. Top 6.
Big issue, though, is that match split just leaves about 10 matches for these guys to be able to play with. CFN will have to drop down soon. They're just going to stay all the way up. Now CFN finally goes down. Need one more Siphon, need one little batch of mats, but everyone's actually fighting hat to hat all the way in this back box. Anyone goes down to the storm. Zamster gets the pickup. It's Ross that ends up going down 2. That's 5th place. That could have been 3rd. Kinney's now just alive.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
still in this fight. No, he's down 2. Now Diz with CFN. They're up top. They're controlling everything, but they have no materials left to really stay all the way up high. Drakey, he's still alive inside the zone. Let's see who wraps this out.
Drakey just outplays Kinney. This could be the slight difference that's going to give him the edge for top 3. It could come down to that single elimination there, that single placement here. But now for the clean 2v2, low ground with no material, barely anything to work with. Zamster just trying to figure it out here based off of Siphon mats. High ground, CFN and Dis trying to cut him off. CFN gets punished. Low ground looking very good now. Meltzer with the side hop. Big drop there. CFN's down officially. This steps through 124. The follow-up, Meltor, just better. Connects and wins the game there for the last game of the Autumn Anarchy.
Game 6's super defense duo, Melter, Zamster, took out so many players, especially the ones who were looking for top 3. Now, where does that leave them? I don't know, but they just crushed some dreams with a pump and a little bit of AR in the mix, too.
Could have been a difference with CFN's team there as well. We know how many points that first place jump. It's a pretty substantial gap, guys, but I think the true battles between Kinney and Drakey, they were up alive inside top 5. They both just snake on by past A1, and then Kinney falls first.
Yeah, they had a little bit of elims, though, which, you know, might be the difference maker overall. So many intense fights in this game. I feel like I'm giving the edge to Kinney here, possibly, but you also have to remember the lead some of these teams had. Moni, 175 points. They were 40, 50, sometimes 60 points ahead of some of these other teams that are rolling in, and they got some placement already for staying alive a little bit in the game. Honestly, it's going to be very hard to predict. The math, I mean, it's completely random, at least from this moment. The standings will be the only thing that will be left to show off what goes on, but what a dope hype fight we saw this entire game.
That was a good one. That was a nice way to kind of edge and roll our way on out. We knew the lobby was going to be a little bit thinner, but it was still the right names at the very end, making the action come to life here. There goes the side angles for Dis onto Drakey. Drakey was out of mats here. Meltor, though, the true highlight plays there to clutch up. He actually hits all the shots he needed and makes that a 10 elimination W for him. Is that enough for him to get a top 8? That's the question that's going to be answered here shortly.
Yeah, that is the prize threshold for a bunch of people. So, you know, making sure your time was kind of worthwhile, at least from a monetary perspective, would be huge for a bunch of these teams. That being said, Monster, I mean, we got to wait a little bit to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, there's a fair amount of time between now and the leaderboards, but when we do return, we'll crown someone with that Victory Royale. We'll see who's going to be number 1. We'll see you guys shortly. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Xfinity's Autumn Anarchy. Now, if you guys haven't heard about Xfinity before, in terms of what they offer, it's reliably fast gigabit Wi-Fi. For your student as well, there's some crazy perks, $100 prepaid card as well for signing up, as well as Amazon Music Unlimited for about 6 months in total, which is huge. If you want to find out more, you can hit up xfinity.com/student. There's so many big perks just waiting, and this tournament as well was brought to you by them. So big shout out to those guys, and Monster has been great so far today, just watching everything go down in these last 6 games.
It's been great. It's been awesome. I mean, the plays have been real. We've seen a fair amount of highlights. I think everyone's going to be pretty happy. You saw the love on social media as well, folks being appreciative of them getting the opportunity to be up here on the stage for the Xfinity Autumn Anarchy. So it's been pretty sick across the board. I mean, but that just leads us to take it all back, right? We got to call the action here. We need to figure out who exactly is going to be your winner of the day. I mean, we know who most likely that's going to be, but remember, top 3 is still going to be very important here for all the prizing and the breakdown and whatnot. So let's go and roll out the standings here, starting with the top 10 to see exactly who broke into that top 8 cutoff. And it's going to be Drakey and Dustin who do just enough in that last game there.
Absolutely amazing so far inside the top 10. Defying just holds on as well. Derpy and Dylan kind of move up a little bit, and then Cool Gamer Meltor, that win really, yes, does push them up all the way to 6th place. Look how close it was with the points to 149, 145, a 1-point difference from 7th and 8th. It was very neck and neck all the way for this one, Monster, but the real meat, that's in the top 5.
Absolutely. So it is time to call it a day and reveal who's going to go ahead and walk away with the top 3 slot here. Of course, Ethan and Spence are going to be your number 1 team with a monstrous lead, but Moni and Day do enough. That last game being the big difference maker for them. Another end game secures them that 2nd place spot, and Fabio and Victor Raleigh walk away with it. That's going to be the boys. I told you, Vinny and them were in there. They had a fighter's chance. It seemed like that was just enough to go to make it.
Absolutely. Mellow Frosty, unfortunate early game, mid-game-ish fight, and Mellow tried to drive away, but just crashed in 4th place. It looks like still $1,000 to get to walk away with, and they have the chance still to be able to participate in, trying to play on the 11th for those Code Red quals. But the top 3, they get invited straight to the finals on the 12th, and I'm excited to see what each of them bring, especially Ethan and Spence, because Monster, they just seem like they're on a completely different scale compared to everyone else.
Definitely. Well, another congratulations, of course, to Fabio and Victor, who just edged out that 3rd place spot. Mellow, Frosty, Kenny, and it's Ross. Kenny made it all the way through to that end game too, but it just wasn't going to be enough here. The victory royale's finish here is going to be the difference for everyone else up towards the top, and more importantly, the elimination. You can tell that's the true difference maker here. Those extra points there being all the maker for them. 30 plus elim is going to be that cutoff mark for breaking into that top 3 there, Shayo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll see how it changes when they're, fighting better teams. Moving on to the next stage, kind of, how this is connected to Code Red overall. It'll be cool because right now, collegiate-wise, definite big bumps in gameplay overall. I liked the way everyone was elevated, height control, the retake, some of the cool things we were watching early and mid-game as well. But after this, now we're getting to the real competition.
Yeah, definitely. We get to elevate the entire competition here. We get to see the tide rise just a little bit. We'll see what ships can, stay afloat here and battle with the currents to come. So it's only going to get harder and harder from here on out. And don't forget, the Code Red qualifiers coming up on the 11th, ladies and gentlemen. You guys can jump into that. Luckily for those inside the top 3, their journey is only going to be guaranteed and continued on the 12th with other pros and vets the community has to offer. But if you fought tonight, if you want another chance here, maybe you wanted to step in, maybe the qualification mark for the Autumn Anarchy wasn't quite there because you I don't know, didn't have a college buddy or peer to play with, the Code Red qualification system should be a little bit different, so might work out for you. Don't forget to go ahead and sign up. I think the link's going to be in the chat there. There it is, ! Code Red, the qualifiers. Feel free to click that, sign up, and get involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's going to be craziness. We'll have some rematch rivalries as well if you guys are tuning in to see exactly, playing again with the same partners. But at the same time, the 6 games today and the teams that played, it was absolutely amazing, Monster.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, final words from me. I had a great time being on the mic with you once again. It's been a hot minute, but we got to call it here for the new season. Any final takes before we head on out of here, Shayo?
Hey, we got to do it more, man. We got to do it so much more. So we'll see what's there for the future, guys. For now, stay safe, do what you got to do, practice those builds and edits, and we'll see you very, very soon.